Chapter 1200. In the primordial demon region, the flames of war raged. The four battlefields were locked in a stalemate. Lives were lost and corpses were strewn everywhere. As the war reached its climax, the power of fortune that had protected the celestial devil imperial family for tens of thousands of years above the celestial devil imperial city gradually weakened, dropping to an unprecedented level. In the Qi observation pavilion, an elder with white hair and beard looked at the sky above the three emperors' palace with a grave expression. "Master!" In the Qi observation pavilion, a young man in green walked over and bowed respectfully. "What did the two demon emperors say?" the elder with white beard asked. The young man in green was silent. After a while, he said softly, "The two demon emperors did not say anything." Hearing this, the elder with white beard clenched his fists. What were the two demon emperors thinking? If this continued, the providence of the sky demonic imperial tribe would decrease. They would not even be able to protect the imperial city, let alone the new demon emperor. At the same time, in the 13th prince's palace, Ningchen was also looking at the providence above the three emperors' palace. Currently, there were only two demon emperors in the sky demonic imperial tribe. If they wanted to add a third demon emperor, they would have to use the providence of the sky demonic imperial tribe. However, the sky demonic imperial tribe was not the same as before. Even if they used the providence, it was unknown whether the third demon emperor could successfully attain the demon emperor. Once the providence was used up, the two demon emperors who had lost the support of the imperial tribe's providence would not be able to deal with the joint attack of the other demon emperors. In this dilemma, it was up to the two demon emperors to choose. 13th Prince. At this moment, golden light shone from the palace behind him. A beautiful and ethereal figure walked out. Looking at the young man in front of her, a complicated look flashed in her eyes. In front of the palace, Ningchen turned around and looked at the new demon emperor. He smiled warmly and said, "Long time no see, Miss Tianxe. Perhaps I should call you demon emperor now." 13th Prince, "You can call me Tianxen," Tianxen said softly. Tianxen opened his mouth and asked softly, "Your Highness, can you give me an explanation regarding the scaled tribe?" The young man in front of him was the instigator of the 5 imperial tribes joining forces to attack the primordial demon region. He did not expect the scaled tribe army to be destroyed by the 13th prince. "I do not trust the scaled tribe," Ningchen said calmly. "Is that all?" Tianxen frowned. "Yes." Ningchen didn't explain further and replied, "Your Highness' reason is really hard to accept. Now, the scaled race's army has been destroyed, and the 5 kings have all died in battle. Their overall strength has been greatly reduced. Relying only on our race and the other 3 races, the difficulty of conquering primordial devil area has increased by several times. Conventional warfare is ultimately a preparation for the final battle." Ningchen said seriously, "As long as the 4 royal families continue to break the Sky Devil Imperial family's defense line, the Sky Devil Imperial family will lose the support of the people, and the fate of the royal family will be further weakened. At that time, the Sky Devil Imperial family will not be able to withstand a single blow." "Your Highness, can you really guarantee that the 9 Nether Devil Emperor won't make a move?" Tianxen asked solemnly. "Since I have made a promise, I have the confidence to do so. Miss Tianxin, you don't have to worry about Master." Ningchen said seriously, "However, the precondition is that you must not harm the innocent in your battles. Victory or defeat in wars and the change of dynasties are normal. Master will not care about it. However, if someone from the 4 royal families deliberately kills innocent people, even I will not be able to stop Master from taking action." "I understand." Tianxen nodded and looked at the Sky Devil ancestral land. Hatred flashed across her beautiful eyes. She would personally take revenge for her master. 13th Prince, I will remember your kindness. We will meet again." As she spoke, Tianxen's figure gradually faded away. In the blink of an eye, she had disappeared. Seeing the new sorcerer tribe emperor leave, Ningchen turned around and looked at the changing situation in the primordial demon area calmly. Now, no one could stop this war. They could only wait for the final outcome. Northern Sorcerer Tribe. On the altar, Tion Xen retracted her thoughts. Above the altar, 3 illusory figures floated up and down. The powerful royal aura was shocking. How was it? What did he say? In the air, the Lord of Holy Capital Mountain, Yulu, asked lightly. No explanation, Tion Xen said calmly. He only said that the scaled tribe cannot be trusted. Hearing this, Yulu frowned. He had not expected the 13th prince to say such a thing. Opposite the Lord of Holy Capital, the holy leader of the Golden Lion tribe said seriously, now that I think about it, when that young man traveled through the 5 continents, the only place he did not go was the scaled tribe. Does he have any grudges with the scaled emperor? I don't think so. Tion Xen shook his head and looked at the emperor of the stone tribe in front of him. If we are talking about grudges, the 13th prince has some with the stone tribe. However, ever since the war started, he has not taken the opportunity to plot against the stone tribe. In the air, the stone tribe emperor snorted coldly and did not deny it. If that's the case, it's even stranger. Why is he so hostile towards the scaled tribe? The holy leader of the Golden Lion tribe asked curiously. The scaled tribe is a sinister tribe. It's normal for someone to be their enemy, the Lord of Holy Capital Yuluowu said coldly. The stone tribe holy leader and the holy leader of the Golden Lion tribe were silent. Everyone knew about the grudges between the Holy Capital Mountain and the Purple Scale Abyss. If not for the fact that the Sky Demon Imperial tribe was a huge threat to the other Imperial tribes, the 2 tribes would never have joined forces. On the altar, Tion Xen raised his right hand. Instantly, golden light shone and the scene of the Blood Moon ancient battlefield appeared. When the 13th prince first appeared in front of the world, he represented Rising Sun Imperial City in the ancient battlefield. In the ancient battlefield, he suppressed the descendants of the 100 tribes and shocked the world. However, before this, I have never heard of such a person, Tion Xen said honestly. In the primordial demon realm, the human race is weak. Human cultivators usually keep a low profile. This is not strange, the holy leader of the Golden Lion tribe replied. It's not strange for him to keep a low profile. However, if you can't deduce his fate, isn't that strange? Tion Xen said seriously. Huh. In the sky, when the 3 sovereigns heard this, their expressions froze. How could this be? With the shaman tribe's deduction technique, no one and nothing in the world could escape the eyes of the shaman tribe's sovereign unless they were sovereigns. Sorcerer Emperor, are you sure you didn't make a mistake? Yulu asked seriously. I've tried many times, and the results are the same every time. His fate seems to be covered by something. I can't see it, Tion Xen replied. The Sorcerer Emperor's words made the 3 emperors feel uneasy. A young man who couldn't even see his fate was too strange. After a long while, Yulu calmed himself down and said seriously, no matter what, the war has reached the most critical moment. There's no turning back. Let's think of a way to defeat the imperial tribe of the Empyrean demons first. Azura, the war god of the demons, has taken action. The army of the sanctuary can't break through the defense line for now. Can you break through the defense line as soon as possible? The Golden Lion tribe leader asked. On the southeast battlefield, Xuanqi has recovered. With the help of the 4 mysterious entrances of the Empyrean demon 3rd prince, the Stone tribe can only delay him. We can't help you, the Stone Emperor said indifferently. The situation on the east battlefield is similar to yours. Our divine generals can suppress the 3rd prince, but it's difficult to defeat him in a short time. The east battlefield still needs time, Yuluowu said seriously. The 3 emperors expressed their opinions. On the altar, Tion Xen's eyes flashed coldly. They were all sly old foxes. She didn't believe that the 3 sovereigns didn't have other plans. These 3 old guys were waiting for her to express her opinion. Leave this matter to our tribe. Tion Xen said solemnly, however, when our army reaches the 3 sovereign cities, the 3 of you must not forget to lend a hand. There is only one chance to defeat the Empyrean demon imperial family. If we miss it, we won't have another chance. Understood. The 3 emperors responded. Their figures faded away, disappearing from the void. Order the 12 shamans to attack with full force. Defeat the Empyrean demon imperial family as soon as possible, Tion Xen ordered coldly. Yes. In front of the altar, a sorcerer tribe expert appeared. After receiving the order, he quickly got up and left. At the most crucial moment of the war, all the races under the heavens were paying attention to this war. The Empyrean demon imperial city had ruled the primal demon realm for too long. Everyone was waiting for the arrival of a new dynasty. Just as the final battle of the primal demon realm was about to begin, Luo Fei appeared in the Reverence Moon ancient ground at the border between the All-Heaven Starfield and Luo Jia Starfield. Seeing her, Qing Ning, Mu Qingxue, and the others were puzzled. Why would Luo Fei come alone without Xia Zi accompanying her? Miss Mu, please come with me, Luo Fei said anxiously. What's the matter? Mu Qingxue asked. The king of the scaled tribe laid down a grand formation in the Z-Way galaxy to devour the myriad spirit's source energy to replenish the Western King Hairpin's spiritual energy. Z and the Dawn Moon House's master tried to stop it, but they couldn't break the scaled king's armor. Therefore, I came to ask for your help, Luo Fei said quickly. Mu Qingxue frowned slightly. A moment later, she shook her head and said, I'm sorry, I can't help you now. Luo Fei asked anxiously. The shadow-bearing sword is broken, I can't use my full strength for the time being. Moreover, the scaled tribe's armor is different from the Nether King's protective true energy. In order to break its defense, other than absolute speed, a powerful attack is indispensable. In this aspect, I'm not as good as Ning Chen, Mu Qingxue said honestly. Luo Fei had heard of this before. Her body trembled slightly. How could this be? Luo Fei, don't worry, Qingxue hasn't finished. Qing Ning comforted. Other than Miss Mu, is there anyone else who has absolute speed? Luo Fei recovered and asked in surprise. Yes. Mu Qingxue nodded. She looked at Inra and said, it's her. What? Luo Fei was surprised. Mu Qingxue replied, her master gave everything to her. Now, not only does she have the heavenly language source, she also has the phoenix bloodline. Luo Fei was shocked again. She looked at the girl who was practicing her swordsmanship not far away in disbelief. Marquis Jiming's phoenix bloodline was given to this child, then what about Marquis Jiming? Miss Luo, I'll explain your questions on the way. Time is tight, let's go as soon as possible. Qing Ning reminded. She turned to the girl beside her and continued, Qingxue, you come with us, just in case. Chapter 1201. In the Z-Way starfield, bloody mist filled the air. Within the bloody mist, deafening battle cries resounded through the starry sky. After a long battle, Xia Zi and the waning Moonhouse Master teamed up to fight the Scaled King. Their divine weapons clashed with the Scaled race's absolute defense. Both of them were dyed red. The intense battle did not allow for a moment of carelessness. Within the life sacrifice formation, the Scaled King's expression was abnormally heavy. Facing two peerless human powerhouses, he did not dare to be careless even with the protection of his scales. The battle was intense. The three of them unleashed their full power. Their bodies shone brilliantly like gods. Between the two human powerhouses, the waning Moonhouse Master wielded her spear and sword. On the other side, Xia Zi wielded the 6-foot-long demonic sword. It was a rare demonic weapon, and it unleashed its most powerful attack. On the other hand, the Scaled Race King was covered in scales. His cultivation was at the peak of the King realm, and he suppressed the two human powerhouses. The battle between the two powerhouses shook the universe. Demonic chi and demonic power soared into the sky. The spear and sword moved. Demonic sword, reincarnation. The battle reached its climax. The demonic sword held up the sky, and the demonic aura transformed into the scene of reincarnation. Within the giant whirlpool, thousands of swords surged like waves, slashing towards the Scaled Race King. Within the life sacrifice formation, the Scaled King raised his hand. Bloody mist filled the air, blocking the sword chi. Rumbling sounds shook the stars. In the distance, withered stars were affected by the battle and turned into dust. Close at hand, the two pairs of eyes looked at each other. Their eyes were equally cold, without a trace of human emotion. The Scaled Race King was a true demon among humans. The two peerless powerhouses of the primal demon realm and the Netherworld King's Pure Land were fighting. Demonic sword, God slaying. Xia Zi's expression did not change. His eyes turned black, and black feathers fluttered around his body. The 12 wings of sin appeared in the human world. The powerful demonic aura that was rarely seen in the human world exceeded the limit. The Mad Doomsday Sword was also a divine weapon that did not belong to the human world. The God-slaying sword defied the laws of heaven and earth. In front of the Scaled King, the bloody mist dissipated. Seeing this, the Scaled King's expression darkened. The demonic human in front of him was extraordinary. Even among the heavenly demons, there was not a single one with such pure demonic chi. Clang. The divine artifact shook the scale armor, and the sound of intense friction rang out. The demon sword spun rapidly, continuously attacking the king's absolute defense. How foolish! The Scaled King was pushed back half a step before he steadied himself. He looked at the demon in front of him and snorted coldly. He gathered Yuan in his right palm and struck out. Behind him, a silver-gray figure flashed by. The underworld divine spear was like a dragon breaking through a city as it clashed with the king's palm. The thunderous rumbles shook the starry sky. The dawn moon brothel mistress slid back 100 steps. The aura around her circulated and dispersed the remaining power. This was the first time the world had seen such a bizarre technique. The palm strike that could destroy the heavens and extinguish the earth had actually dissipated silently between heaven and earth. The two peerless powerhouses of the human clan each displayed their amazing abilities. They fought for time for the knowing destiny state and for the human clan. With the opening of the ancient battlefield, the source energies of the outer heaven and the inner heaven were temporarily replenished. Fourth realm cultivators appeared one after another. However, 100 years was not enough for the fourth realm cultivators of the outer heaven and the inner heaven to grow to a level where they could contend against the kings of the 100 races. The king unleashed his might, and his aura forced the two human experts back. 100 steps away, the Dawn Moonhouse Master wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth and said calmly, "Can you still hold on?" Endless battle intent. Xia Zi replied coldly as he half knelt. Above the starry sky, black demonic clouds appeared. Under the demonic clouds, the demonic aura of the human clan soared into the sky. The 12 sin wings opened behind his back, and boundless demonic aura spread out continuously, shocking the gods of the 9 heavens. Waves and undercurrents stole the light of heaven and earth. This unprecedented scene shocked the world. Looking at the changes in heaven and earth, the Dawn Moonhouse Master's eyes flashed. Pluto. Within the life sacrifice formation, the Scaled King's expression also turned serious. Such shocking demonic aura. This person cannot be allowed to live. In the starry sky, the Pluto's projection appeared. His eyes looked down at the world coldly. Just one look was enough to make the entire starry sky freeze. After a few breaths, the Pluto's projection dissipated, turning into endless demonic power that entered Xia Zi's body. Suddenly, the 12 sin wings expanded endlessly. The huge black wings were like a canopy that covered the 9 heavens. With the Pluto's projection, Xia Zi's body broke through the limits. Terrifying demonic aura surged, and the weather changed. The 12 sin wings shook, and the demonic figure disappeared instantly. When he appeared again, he was already in front of the Scaled King. With such shocking speed, the Scaled King's pupils shrank. He subconsciously raised his left arm to block the incoming attack. With a loud bang, the frenzy of doomsday slashed down with the force of 1,000 caddies. Amidst the deafening sound of the collision, a piece of scale armor on the King of Scales' left arm cracked. The remaining force hit the King of Scales' body, and the King of Scales took half a step backward. The scale armor shattered, and blood seeped out. The invincible Scaled King was dyed red for the first time. Back off! The Scaled King was injured, and his anger reached its peak. With a deep roar, his demonic energy exploded, and the demonic figure in front of him was blown away. 100 feet away, Xia Zi stopped. The hand that was holding the sword overflowed with blood, dyeing the 6-foot demonic sword red. The shocking battle was tragic and tragic. The blood did not stop flowing. Xia Zi's figure swept out once again. His sword moved like lightning, suppressing the Scaled King with all his might. Not far away, the Dawn Moonhouse Master condensed her chi and stepped forward. Her figure instantly split into two. Her spear and sword moved side by side, teaming up with the demonic figure to fight the Scaled King again. This was a battle for survival. It was not a battle for revenge or personal gain. Battle after battle, the battle cries shook the heavens. Yao Yao Hui Ming, 5 destructive heavenly curse. The Scaled King roared and used the Scaled Race's forbidden technique. Immediately, the power of darkness exploded. The power of devouring the heavens and destroying the earth swept out towards the two people in front of him. The two of them blocked the attack together, but with a muffled groan, they both retreated 100 steps. In front of them, the Dawn Moonhouse Master's left arm, which bore the brunt of the attack, started to wither. The terror of the heaven destruction technique was revealed for the first time. Seeing this, the Dawn Moonhouse Master's expression turned serious. With a light roar, a strange light rose around her body. In the blink of an eye, the Dawn Moonhouse Master's left arm recovered. With a strange technique, she barely blocked the heaven destruction technique. This was the most difficult battle. Even the two people at the peak of the human race were trapped in a bitter battle. Ling Liweng, who was at the peak of the scaled race, was shockingly powerful. At the same time, at the border between the All-Heaven Starfield and the Z-Way Starfield, a phoenix cried out. A huge fire phoenix rushed towards the distant battlefield. Its speed was unimaginably fast. Beside the phoenix, there was a woman in snow-white clothes. Her seemingly ordinary pace was actually able to keep up with the phoenix's speed, not falling behind by even half a step. The two fastest people in the human world rushed to the Z-Way star zone together. They traveled day and night. Just as the people of the sky beyond heaven were trying their best to buy time for the human race, the flames of war in the primordial demon realm burned through every corner of the demon realm. In the northern battlefield, the 12 Shaman Empress led the army south. With the power of the entire race, the demons would be wiped out. The shaman race rose up and the heavenly demon army in the north was defeated. Even the heavenly demon 5th Prince Shen Kong and the 8 tribes Gandharv could not stop the 12 Shaman Empress. As the shaman race attacked with all their might, the other 3 sovereign races also strengthened their attacks. They restrained the heavenly demon imperial race's forces and created opportunities for the shaman race. With the 4 sovereign races working together, the heavenly demon imperial race was in a difficult situation. In the heavenly demon imperial city, where the power of the heavenly demon clan gathered, reports from the front lines were sent in one after another. The entire imperial city was in a state of panic. The shaman race army in the north had entered the hinterland of the demon realm. Their attacks were unstoppable. In a few days they would reach the imperial city. In front of the 3 sovereigns' palace, the sovereign races knelt on the stone steps, waiting for the heavenly demon emperor's decision. Summon Xian Qing and take over the throne. In the face of danger, there was no room for hesitation. In front of the imperial palace, the 7 luminaries demon emperor and the 8 baron demon emperor pondered for a long time before finally making a decision. Under the emperor's order, the hundreds of sovereign races below kowtowed with different thoughts. In the 13th Prince Palace, Ning Chen was the first to receive the news. A cold look flashed across his face. Go and tell Xian Ke that this is his last chance. He must not fail. Ning Chen ordered. Yes. Yingji accepted the order and disappeared, heading to the northern battlefield. The final battle was close at hand. Ning Chen looked at the sovereign luck above the 3 sovereigns' palace with cold eyes. Being in this heartless imperial city, he had almost forgotten about humanity. Killing and arson, stirring up the wind and clouds, he would do anything. Now it was all about to end. In the northern battlefield, the ghost chariot rushed over and stopped in front of the heavenly demon camp. Yingji entered the camp with the crown prince's golden token and went straight to Xian Quebec. In the king's tent, Xian Ke, who was working hard on the battle, looked serious when he saw her. Yingji? Why did she come personally? Greetings, Ninth Highness. Inji bowed. No need for formalities. Xian Kei said in confusion, why did Miss Inji come personally? Did something happen? Ninth Highness, I came on the orders of the 13th Prince to inform you of something. Inji said seriously, the two demon emperors have ordered the third prince to return to the city and take over the throne. What? Xian Kei's expression changed. How could it be so fast? Ninth Highness, the 13th Highness asked me to tell you that this is your last chance. The Imperial Edict should not have reached the southeast battlefield yet. Your Highness, you must seize this opportunity and not miss it. Inji said seriously. Xian Kei's expression turned gloomy. After a while, he said, thank 13th brother for me. I know what to do. In that case, Inji will not disturb you. Goodbye. With that, Inji bowed again and turned to leave. After a few breaths, the ghost chariot rushed out of the heavenly demon camp and returned to the city to report. In the 13th prince's residence in the 3rd imperial city, Inji returned before sunset. She appeared in front of the palace and bowed respectfully, Your Highness, the message has been delivered. In front of the king's palace, Ningchen nodded gently and said, Thank you for your hard work. Inji was silent. After a long time, she could not help but ask, Your Highness, why are you not anxious at all? Are you not going to fight for the throne? She, the Ghost Clan, chose the 13th prince because she wanted to be a subject of the emperor. However, the 13th prince was not anxious at all when the two demon emperors had ordered him to do so. She was puzzled. Don't worry. Ningchen said faintly, it's not that easy for Xian Qing to get the throne. Didn't you tell Xian Kei about this? If Xian Qing wants to inherit the throne, he must come back alive first. Chapter 1202. Primordial Demon Region, Southeast Battlefield. Xian Qing received the secret edict and was moved. After fighting for so many years, this day had finally come. In front of Xian Qing, the 4 profound entrances were also excited and congratulated him. Prepare to return to the imperial city, Xian Qing said. Yes. East Xian Yu Ting, North Xian Yao Shui, West Xian Yu Feng, and South Xian Yang Yi bowed and left the tent. Half a day later, outside the heavenly demon camp, the crown prince's carriage moved toward the heavenly demon imperial city with 3,000 elite demon soldiers. On the flood dragon carriage, Xian Yu Feng drove the carriage forward and used a special technique to help the 3,000 elite demon soldiers to speed up the journey. After half a day, the sun set in the west and the sky gradually darkened. As night fell, the 3,000 demon soldiers were fully alert, ready to deal with any enemies that might appear. On the flood dragon carriage, Xian Yu Feng opened his divine sense and didn't dare to be careless. The news of the third crown prince returning to the imperial city couldn't be hidden. Tonight was destined to not be a peaceful night. In the east, the cold moon rose. When the demon army passed through a valley, suddenly, a sandstorm blew. Black shadows appeared out of nowhere and attacked the demon army without any warning. Before the 3,000 demon warriors could even react, hundreds of them had already been sacrificed. Around the chariot, 2 streams of powerful palm power attacked from the left and the right, shattering the chariot into pieces. On the carriage, Xian Yu Feng jumped up and locked onto the attacker with his divine sense. His palms gathered the power of wind and slapped out. Down below, there was no one in the collapsed chariot. It was a diversion, and it was hard to tell what was real and what was fake. Retreat. In the darkness, a cold voice sounded. There was no surprise as he calmly gave the order. With this order, the black-clothed assassins who charged into the demon army quickly retreated. They were well-trained and didn't hesitate. Xian Yu Feng's expression froze. Strange, why did these people retreat so easily? Could it be that their plan had been exposed? Almost at the same time, 3,000 miles away, 4 figures in black robes rushed north. There were 3 men and 1 woman under the long robes. The one in the lead had a grave and stern appearance. His brows were as sharp as swords. He was the 3rd crown prince of the royal family. Although he was covered in a black robe, his extraordinary temperament was still difficult to conceal. Just at this moment, a majestic palm energy tore through the air from the east. The powerful energy tore through the void and blasted towards the man before the three of them. The leader of the four, a man in a black robe, stopped in his tracks. He frowned slightly as he looked at the palm energy coming from afar. There was actually an ambush here? Your Highness, please leave first. I will hold him back. Among the three in the back, Nan Xianyang raised his body to block the attack. Devilish flames swept out as he met the attack head-on. The heavens and earth shook violently as the two attacks collided. The ground within 1,000 miles collapsed as a demonic silhouette appeared amidst the raging waves. He struck out with another palm towards the third crown prince. Nan Xianyang's figure flashed and blocked in front of him again. His palms collided. The two demons clashed, their momentum shaking the heavens. Incomparably powerful forces clashed against each other, rolling up tens of thousands of sand waves. After watching for a moment, Nan Xianqing withdrew his gaze and continued forward without further delay. Under the night sky, the three of them moved faster and faster. After advancing for nearly an hour, a rain of arrows tore through the air from afar. The incomparably sharp arrow light swept directly towards the three of them. Snow of the world! At this critical moment, Beixin Yaoxue stepped out of the three of them. The snow that filled the sky surged and formed a barrier in front of them. The arrow rain struck the snow waves and rumbled. The arrow rain withered and the snow dissipated. However, after the first wave of arrow rain, another wave of arrow light tore through the air. It was endless and earth-shattering. The arrows that were infused with devilish qi were like flying meteors. They streaked across the sky with astonishing power and were unstoppable. Ha! Beixin Yaoxue shouted. The snow waves around her swept out and blocked the arrow rain. Your Highness, let's go. As soon as she finished speaking, the arrow rain and snow waves collided. The terrifying aftershock shook and destroyed everything in the surroundings. Your Highness, let's go quickly. Dong Xianyuting's expression hardened as he urged. Xianqing clenched his fists tightly. He knew that he could not delay any longer. His figure flashed as he continued to move forward. The cold night gradually deepened. A cold wind blew and dust filled the sky. The two of them, who had traveled day and night, did not dare to stop for a moment. They hurried in the direction of Sanhuang City. Boom! Just as the two of them traveled for another hour, the ground beneath them suddenly shook. A giant hand rose from the ground and grabbed at the two of them. Dong Xianyuting saw this and his expression darkened. He leaped into the air and punched out. The two fists collided with a force of 1,000 caddies. The giant hand of mud and stone shattered and scattered into the sky. After the punch, huge stone pillars rose from the ground below, blocking the road ahead. Your Highness, you go first. I will catch up soon. Dong Xianyuting looked at the black-clothed demonic figure on the stone pillar in front of him with a dignified expression. On the huge stone pillar, the black-clothed demonic figure was filled with royal aura. He had never seen anything like this before. However, his powerful aura was terrifying. None of you can leave. On the stone pillar, the black-clothed demonic figure said. His figure swept down and punched out. Thousands of demonic figures appeared, both real and illusory, difficult to distinguish. Dong Xianyuting's eyes narrowed as he crossed his fists. Majestic lightning surged out and immediately, a lightning net spread out to block the incoming attack. The demonic figure shook the lightning net. Amidst the violent tremors, the black-clothed demonic figure broke through the lightning net and punched the head of the four Xian. Dong Xianyuting crossed his arms in front of his body and blocked the attack. There was a muffled groan as he retreated several steps. Blood flowed from the corner of Dong Xianyuting's mouth, dyeing his battle robe red. Your Highness, let's go. Before the third crown prince's figure could leave, Dong Xianyuting flipped his palm and sent the former out of the battle. 300 miles away, Xianqing staggered and stabilized his figure. Looking at the battle behind him, his expression grew darker and darker. Who was it that arranged so many ambushes? The road back was fraught with danger at every step. Xianqing gathered his thoughts and continued to rush in the direction of the imperial city. After traveling for more than 1,000 miles, the surrounding atmosphere changed again. The wind howled and the sky changed color. "Third brother, how have you been?" At this moment, above the void, demonic chi surged. A familiar figure appeared and looked at the man in front of him with a cold expression. Xianqing saw this and stopped. He took off the black robe covering his head and looked at the demonic figure in the void. He said in a low voice, "Ninth brother, I didn't expect that the one who came to greet me would be you. Who do you think it is?" "13th brother?" Xian-Ke sneered. "Ninth brother, don't use others." Xianqing's expression was gloomy. "You and I are both injured, and 13th brother is just waiting to reap the benefits. You should be able to see through such a simple trap. Don't try to drive a wedge between us." Xian-Ke clenched his right hand. Suddenly, a black demonic chi surged out and turned into a battle armor to protect his body. Before the unification of the imperial power, the 9th prince of the imperial family no longer hid his shocking cultivation. He stepped in the air and rushed out like lightning. Xian-Ke's right fist activated the demonic chi and blasted toward the former. Xianqing snorted and met the attack with a punch without fear. In the battle between two kings, the demonic fists collided and the power shook the sky. There was only life and death in the battle for the unification of the imperial power. Xian-Ke, who had given up all paths of retreat, was surrounded by demonic chi. Xianqing was also fearless and met the 9th prince's attack head-on. Their fists intertwined with each other with boundless power. The two of them landed heavy blows on each other's bodies, bringing forth a glaring waterfall of blood. This was a battle that only belonged to the two of them. After putting aside the schemes, there was only absolute strength left. Fist after fist collided with each other. Their attacks became fiercer and fiercer as they displayed the shocking power of the imperial bloodline. Under the night sky, the two of them fought fiercely. Their attacks were like raging waves and the world around them quickly collapsed under their powerful attacks. The battle between two kings would not end until one of them was dead. At this moment, the void shook a few hundred miles away and a figure in plain clothes walked out. He looked at the battle in front of him and a cold smile appeared on his face. "Your Highness, can the 9th prince really stop the 3rd prince?" Behind him, Inji asked solemnly. "Xian-Ke's strength is definitely not as mediocre as he usually shows. He alone is enough for this battle." Ningchen said calmly. Inji heard this and frowned slightly but did not ask any more questions. In front of them, as the battle continued, the injuries on the two kings became more and more serious. The two of them only attacked and did not defend themselves. They relied on the indestructible body of the demon clan to withstand the opponent's attacks. At the same time, they used their destructive power to bombard each other. Blood splattered and dyed the surrounding ground red. The battle of life and death became more intense. Heavenly Demons 7 Transformations, Yu Tianxiong. Heavenly Demons 7 Transformations, Yu Tianxiong. The same move shook the heavens and the earth. The 3,000 feet tall demonic body appeared in the world and the earth-shattering demonic power swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The appearance of the Dharma form caused the battle between the two kings to reach its climax. The giant fists punched out and cracked the earth. Boom! The heavy punches landed on each other's bodies and brought out another waterfall of blood. The two unyielding kings of the demon clan were determined to control their own fates and destroy all obstacles with their fists. In the distance, the knowing destiny who set up this trap stood quietly and looked at the two demon princes in front of him. He did not interfere. This fair battle was the only respect he could give the two of them. He could not give more. 300 miles away, a demonic fist pierced through Xian-Ke's chest. Blood flowed out and dyed the demonic body red. "Got you." Taking the 3rd prince's punch, Xian-Ke raised his hand and grabbed the former. Then, his figure soared into the sky. The two of them broke through the clouds like shooting stars. The flames around their bodies were burning fiercely, shocking the world. "Ninth brother," Xianqing was shocked. He struggled hard but could not break free. In the next moment, the two of them fell from the sky. Their speed was getting faster and faster and they crashed into the ground below. The move of mutual destruction shocked the heavens and the earth. At the last moment, Xian Ke gathered demonic qi around his body and protected his vital parts. Boom! The two of them crashed into the ground. In the most terrifying tremor, thousands of miles of wasteland collapsed. In the distance, mountains were also affected and collapsed into the ground. It's over. In the turbulent aftermath, Ningchen looked at the huge pit in front of him and whispered softly. Chapter 1203. The night was cold and the battle between the kings was coming to an end. The two kings that fell from the sky were like blazing meteors, completely smashing the entire wasteland into the ground. This shocking scene caused everyone to feel fear in their hearts. In the distance, the four profound entrances sensed the commotion and revealed shocked expressions. They disregarded everything and hurriedly rushed forward. Thousands of miles away, Xian Ke stood up and spat out a mouthful of blood. Xian Ke's body was dyed red and covered in cracks. He barely managed to stabilize himself as he looked at the third crown prince who had fallen to the ground. A complicated look flashed through his tired eyes. In the end, they still came to this point. Xian Ke gathered his demonic essence and punched the third crown prince's chest with all his strength. Cough. Xian Qing opened his eyes and coughed out a mouthful of blood. He looked at the ninth prince and said with a hoarse voice, "Ninth, be careful of 13th. Xian Qing's hands fell to his side. He had fought and schemed his entire life, but he still died in someone else's scheme. How ironic and bitter. Xian Ke wiped the blood from his mouth and suppressed his internal injuries. He looked at the third crown prince with a complicated expression. If it was in the past, he might have fallen for those words, but it was impossible now. Ninth brother, congratulations. At this moment, a white-clothed figure appeared in the sky. She slowly descended and arrived beside the ninth prince. 13th brother, you've been here all along, Xian Ke sighed. This is a battle between ninth and third brother. It's not suitable for me to interfere, Ningchen said calmly. Xian Ke nodded, and his expression dimmed slightly as he said, even though it must be done, the feeling of killing my brother with my own hands is still difficult to easily forget. Ningchen narrowed his eyes and shifted his gaze to the third crown prince who was lying in the dust. He said, the four profound entrances will be here soon. Ninth royal brother is injured, so you should leave as soon as possible. Leave this place to me. Thank you. Xian Ke nodded lightly, took a step forward, and left first. Under the collapsed ground, Ningchen raised his hand and demonic qi surged around him. The light of the divine seal devoured the third crown prince's body. Master. At this moment, the thousands of great demons in the soul-suppressing banner on Ningchen's body became restless. They desired the bloodline of the celestial demonic imperial tribe. I have a use for this person. I can't give him to you for the time being, Ningchen said calmly. Hearing this, the thousands of great demons immediately fell silent and didn't say anything else. Now that the final mission was over, Ningchen didn't stay any longer. His figure flashed and disappeared into the night. Not long after the two of them left, the four profound entrances arrived one after another on the collapsed battlefield. Looking at the ground that was riddled with holes, their faces were filled with anxiety. Your Highness! Baixian Yao Shui's divine sense swept across the battlefield but could not find traces of Xian Qing. Split up and search. No matter what, we must find His Highness the Crown Prince. Dongxian Yuting said in a low voice. Yes. The three of them accepted the order and immediately flew off in different directions without any hesitation. Just as Xian Qing died, the army of the sorcerer tribe marched day and night in the northern battlefield, constantly attacking the imperial tribe of heavenly devils' defense line. When the 12 sorcerer queens worked together, no one below the imperial path could defeat them. In the northern mansions, cities fell one after another. Everywhere the flames of war passed, the land was scorched. The war against the demons had reached a critical moment. The divine capital mountain, the western sacred region, and the Shur tribe, the three imperial tribes, attacked with all their might, restraining the forces of the imperial tribe of heavenly devils so that the three armies couldn't send reinforcements to the north. Xian Ke, who rushed back in the night, looked at the flames of war in front of him and his face grew darker. Was the Heavenly Devil tribe really going to fall from their pedestal? After the defeat, the Heavenly Devil tribe had lost the ability to fight back. The army of the Sorcerer tribe had reached the Imperial City and it was difficult to stop them. Your Highness. Behind Xian Ke, a black-clothed demonic figure appeared and said with a serious expression, "Now that the third prince is dead and the 13th prince has taken the initiative to promise not to inherit the throne, only your Highness has the ability to inherit the throne among the princes of the imperial family. Therefore, your Highness only needs to wait for the summons of the 2 demon emperors." "Thank you, Second Father," Xian Ke said. After enduring for so many years, he finally got to where he was today. The hardships he had endured were something that others could understand. "It's my honor to serve your Highness." As he spoke, the demonic figure in black showed his face. His old face was filled with the vicissitudes of time. The long night gradually passed. The sun rose in the east and the first rays of the morning sun shone, dispelling the coldness of the darkness. In the hinterland of the north, the army of the Sorcerer tribe kept marching southward. They were unstoppable. In just one night, the army of the Sorcerer tribe marched southward for another 1,000 miles and conquered several cities. Their shocking combat strength was unprecedented. The death of Emperor Go had always been a source of uncontrollable anger in the hearts of the thousands of soldiers of the Sorcerer tribe. Once it exploded, the world was shocked. In the deepest part of the Heavenly Devil ancestral land, the news of the third prince Xian Qing's disappearance came. The 2 demon emperors' faces darkened and they couldn't hide the anger in their eyes. Although Xian Qing wasn't their favorite candidate, they had just ordered him to be recalled when Xian Qing was assassinated and disappeared. No one knew if he was dead or alive. Such an audacious act deserves death. The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor released his divine consciousness to search for Xian Qing's aura. However, after searching for a long time, he didn't find anything. "How is it?" the 8 Desolation Demon Emperor asked seriously. "I can't find it." The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor said in a deep voice, "I'm afraid something has happened to Xian Qing." 8 Desolation Devil Emperor's eyes flashed coldly. How many princes had met with mishap? "Bahuang, who do you think did it?" the 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor asked in a deep voice. "Old 9 and Old 13 are the most suspicious. However, we can't rule out the possibility that it's the other races." The 8 Desolation Devil Emperor said seriously. 13th brother. The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor murmured. He glanced at the 3rd royal city in the distance and said after some time, "Bahuang, don't you think it's strange? Since 13th brother became the ruler of the royal family, all kinds of things have been happening to the Imperial Sky Demon tribe. First it was 7th brother, then it was Xianjin, and now it's Xian Qing. All 3 princes are in trouble. On top of that, the royal city is in chaos, and the 4 royal tribes are stirring up trouble. You suspect that 13th brother is behind this?" The 8 Desolation Devil Emperor frowned. "I'm not exactly suspicious. I just feel like something isn't right," the 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor said seriously. After all, 13th brother was not directly involved in any of the incidents. However, it was the reason why he was even more suspicious. 13th brother had covered himself too well. He was always able to pull himself out of the mess even though he was in the middle of it. It was not something an ordinary person could achieve. The 8 Desolation Devil Emperor fell into deep thought. The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor was right. 13th brother was indeed suspicious. Regardless of whether 13th brother is involved in the incidents or not, his goal is to become the ruler of the Imperial Sky Demon tribe. Why don't we take the opportunity to test him? The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor suggested. Sure, the 8 Desolation Devil Emperor nodded. Men. The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor said. Emperor. A messenger showed up and bowed respectfully. Summon the 13th prince to the palace. On top of that, summon the 9th prince back secretly, the 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor ordered. Affirmative. The messenger accepted the order and left the Imperial Sky Demon tribe's territory. Should we send someone to escort Xian Ke back to the city? The 8 Desolation Devil Emperor asked. That won't be necessary. The 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor said, Xian Ke isn't an idiot. Xianqing's death will serve as a reminder to him. Even if someone wants to harm him, it won't be easy. 3 Monarchs City, the 13th Prince's residence. Ningchen was standing quietly in his residence. He was looking in the direction of the Imperial Sky Demon Tribe's territory. His eyes flickered with astonishment. It was impossible to hide Xianqing's death from everyone. The 2 demon emperors must have begun to suspect him, but it was not important. No one could stop the decline of the celestial devil imperial family. They only needed to wait for the final round before this colossus would truly step down from its divine altar. Meanwhile, a demonic aura surged in the rift as a messenger walked out with the demon emperor badge in his hand. He said sternly, "By the order of the demon emperor, the 13th prince is summoned to the palace immediately." "Yes, your highness." Ningchen bowed and accepted the order respectfully. Ningchen rose to his feet and looked at the 3 monarchs' palace coldly. The 2 demon emperors could no longer sit still. Almost at the same time, demonic aura surged in the heavenly demon camp on the northern battlefield. A second messenger appeared with the demon emperor badge in his hand. He said, "Ninth Prince, the demon emperor has ordered you to return to the city immediately." Xianke narrowed his eyes and said, "Yes, your highness." "Ninth Prince, if there's nothing else, please depart as soon as possible," the messenger reminded him kindly. "Thank you for the reminder, your highness. I'll return to the city as soon as possible," Xianke nodded and said gratefully. The messenger did not stay any longer after receiving the imperial order. He disappeared and went back to report. After the messenger left, a black-robed demonic figure appeared behind Xianke and said, "It seems like the 2 demon emperors didn't suspect your highness. Your highness's great cause is about to succeed." Xianke fell silent. A moment later, he sighed softly and said, "The biggest suspects in Xianqing's matter are me and 13th brother. If I'm fine, 13th brother will definitely suffer this injustice. How can you be soft-hearted if you want to succeed? Besides, 13th prince has the netherworld demon emperor behind him. If the 2 demon emperors don't have any evidence, they won't make things difficult for 13th prince. Your highness, you don't have to feel guilty. As long as your highness inherits the fate of the royal family and attains the imperial path, it won't be too late to repay this favor in the future," the black-robed demonic figure advised. Xianke nodded and replied softly. In the 3 monarchs' palace of the heavenly demon imperial city, a white-robed figure walked up the 90,000 stone steps with a calm expression. There was no sign of fear. In front of the imperial palace, endless demonic aura surged as the 2 demon emperors appeared. They looked at the young man walking in front of them with undisguised coldness. "Greetings, demon emperors." Ningchen stopped at the bottom of the stone steps and bowed respectfully. 13th brother, do you admit your sins?" The 7 Brilliance demon emperor said coldly. "I don't know what sins I have committed." Ningchen raised his head at the bottom of the stone steps and replied. "Last night, Xianqing went missing after an assassination attempt. His whereabouts are unknown. Do you know?" The 8 Desolation demon emperor said coldly. "I don't know." Ningchen said calmly as he stared at the 2 demon emperors in front of the palace, his eyes blazing like torches. "Xianke." The 7 Brilliance demon emperor glanced at the person below and said, "Are you willing to take over the throne of the royal family?" Xianke's body shuddered when he heard the words. A moment later, he calmed down and said respectfully, "I might not be that talented, but if our royal family needs someone with the strength of the emperor realm, I'm more than willing to accept it." Xianke answered firmly. He dropped to his knees and bowed without any hesitation. "Very well." The 7 Brilliance demon emperor's expression turned colder. He said, "You may leave now." "Affirmative." Ningchen and Xianke bowed at the same time and left together. In front of the royal palace, the 7 Brilliance demon emperors and 8 Desolation demon emperors watched the 2 leave. Their demonic auras were surging vigorously, indicating that they were not calm at all. "What do you think?" the 7 Brilliance demon emperor asked sternly. "My instincts are telling me that something is wrong with 13th brother, but I can't see through his answer," the 8 Desolation demon emperor replied. It's meaningless if his goal isn't to take over the royal family. However, if it's not his doing, then the only suspect left is ninth brother, the 7 brilliance demon emperor said. The 8 desolation demon emperor fell silent. A moment later, he said, "It's not that I'm trying to protect ninth brother, but there's no way ninth brother could do something like that with his talents, unless he's being guided by an expert." The 7 brilliance demon emperor nodded. He did not think it was possible for ninth brother to be the culprit. Every incident that had happened to the royal family of the Sky Demon realm was shocking. If ninth brother really had the talent, he would not have waited until today. 3 Royal City. The two walked out of the demon palace side by side. Xian Ke stopped at a fork in the road. He looked at the white-haired young man beside him and said seriously, "Thank you, 13th brother." If 13th brother were to compete with him for the throne, it was hard to tell who would win in the end. Now that 13th brother had given up on the throne, no one among the remaining princes could stand against him. "It's what I should do," Ningchen said softly. "Now, I might be able to congratulate you in advance for inheriting the throne. It's not certain yet, so it's too early to celebrate. However, if the day really comes, I won't forget 13th brother's kindness," Xian Ke said seriously. Ningchen nodded and said with a smile, "I'll be waiting for the day to come. It's getting late, I'll head back first." "See you later," Xian Ke said. "See you later." Ningchen nodded. He did not stay any longer and headed back to his residence. Seeing Ningchen leaving, Xian Ke withdrew his gaze and headed in another direction. Not long after the two returned to their residences, a black light shone in the sky above the royal city. A black demon royal badge appeared in the sky with a shocking aura. The demon royal badge has granted the 9th prince, Xian Ke, the title of crown prince of the Sky Demon royal family. The dignified voice spread across the Sky Demon imperial city. It came so suddenly that it shocked everyone. In the 13th prince's residence, Ningchen looked at the demon royal badge in the sky with a strange look. "Xian Ke, are you satisfied with the result?" At the same time, a black badge with a golden glow flew into the sky above the 9th prince's residence. The golden badge of the crown prince had appeared once again. Xian Ke reached out his hand and received the crown prince badge. He could not hide the excitement in his heart. Finally, the day he had been waiting for had arrived. "Congratulations, Your Highness." In the 9th prince's residence, the soldiers and consecrators knelt down and saluted respectfully. "Rise." Xian Ke turned around and looked at the people behind him. He said, "From today onwards, my glory will be your glory." "Thank you, Your Highness." The people bowed again and stood quietly at the side. "Your Highness." In front of the crowd, a black-robed elder walked forward and said calmly, "The sorcerer tribe's army is about to attack the 3rd imperial city. There is not much time left for the 2 demon royals to consider. Your Highness should be prepared to inherit the fate of the royal family as soon as possible. You only have one chance. You can only succeed and not fail." "I understand." "Thank you, Second Father, for your reminder," Xian Ke replied. Just as the situation in the 3rd imperial city was changing, the battle in the northern battlefield was getting more intense. The sorcerer tribe's army swept across the northern territory of the primordial demon region and was less than 10,000 miles away from the Sky Demon imperial city. In the sky above the battlefield, more than 200,000 sorcerer tribe's army moved forward quickly. Their aura was so heavy that it made one's heart tremble. In front of the army, the 12 witch queens looked at the Sky Demon imperial city in the distance. They did not hide their murderous intent. They had never forgotten about Emperor Go. In this battle, they would definitely make the Sky Demon imperial family pay with blood. In the northern continent, on the altar of the sorcerer tribe, the new emperor of the sorcerer tribe, Tian Exin, who was watching the battle in the distance, stepped forward and walked toward the primordial demon region. The sorcerer emperor moved. At the same time, the 3 emperors of the sanctuary region, the Shur tribe, and the holy capital mountain opened their eyes and looked toward the primordial demon region. Time was up. At the same time, in the purple scale abyss in the southern continent, demonic aura soared into the sky and waves surged. Under the abyss, an unusually strong aura was quickly awakened. All living beings were frightened and prostrated on the ground. While the emperors were moving, in the deepest part of the ancestral land in the primordial demon region, the two demon royals opened their eyes and their expressions darkened. It was coming. Night fell. In the north, in front of the sorcerer tribe's army, a golden light shone. A beautiful figure walked out of thin air, and her supreme imperial aura shocked the 9 states. The sorcerer emperor appeared. 10,000 miles away, in the sky demon imperial city, all the citizens saw the dazzling golden light in the distance and were shocked. The supreme emperor of the imperial path. In the 13th prince's palace, in the imperial palace, a black chess piece fell on the black and white chess board. The last game was full of murderous intent. Chapter 1205. The Sorcerer Emperor appeared in the primordial demon region. His majestic aura filled the air, shocking the world. The final battle was coming. The battle that would decide the fate of the primordial demon region was about to come to an end. In front of the sorcerer tribe army stood a beautiful woman. Golden light shone around her, making her look like a fairy. She was so perfect that no one dared to blaspheme her. The new sorcerer emperor was a peerless powerhouse. Even though he was just standing there, all the powerhouses in the primordial demon region felt an unparalleled pressure. Behind the sorcerer emperor, the 12 sorcerer empresses stood quietly. The auras of the 12 powerhouses above the advanced stage of the king realm covered the cold moon. The sorcerer tribe had sent out their strongest lineup. They were willing to pay any price to kill the demons. Thousands of miles away, in the heavenly demon imperial city, everyone looked to the north in shock. No one had expected the sorcerer emperor to arrive so quickly. The final battle has begun. In the 13th prince residence, Ningchen stood up and walked to the front of the imperial palace. He looked to the north and narrowed his eyes. Since the sorcerer emperor had appeared, he would definitely take action. It was time for the final battle to begin. The night was endless. In the northern sky of the primordial demon region, Tian Xen raised his right hand. In an instant, the wind and clouds surged, and the sky changed color. Golden light spread. 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 10,000 miles. For the first time, the Emperor Realm powerhouse showed his earth-shattering power. When the Emperor attacked, the entire primordial demon region began to tremble. The Emperor Realm's precepts filled the air. Stars appeared in the sky and turned into blazing meteors. They streaked across the sky and smashed into the heavenly demon ancestral land. Meteors rained down in the sky. For the first time, the Sorcerer Emperor showed his unparalleled power. He controlled the stars in the sky to attack the forbidden land of the heavenly demon clan. How dare you! At that moment, an angry roar came from the depths of the heavenly demon ancestral land. Amid the deafening roar, a demonic shadow surrounded by demonic chi flew out. He raised his hands to the sky and many demonic suns appeared. 7 luminaries attacked. He used all of his primordial chi. The demonic suns shot into the sky and blasted toward the meteors falling from the sky. Boom! Boom! The demonic suns and the meteors collided, and the demonic suns and meteors exploded. Dazzling light lit up the night sky. It was a terrifying scene. Shocking. A ruler's ability was limitless. With just the first move, he displayed a shocking power that could destroy the world. The meteor was stopped. 10,000 miles away in the north, Tian Xian's expression didn't change. She formed seals with her slender hands, and countless complicated seals entered the void. They were endless and endless, drowning out everything within 1,000 miles. Sovereign Dao laws appeared again. This was a move that had never appeared in the world. Even before the move was executed, its aura was awe-inspiring. In the sky above the heavenly demon ancestral land, the 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor stared at the sovereign of the sorcerer tribe in the distance. He did not dare to hesitate any longer and threw a punch. A destructive force surged out and swept toward the sovereign in front of him. The punch that could shatter the starry river swept through like breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. The void along the way shattered and turned into dark nothingness. Tens of thousands of miles to the north, the demonic fist arrived. Tian Xian stretched out his left hand. Golden light filled the air and blocked the attack of the celestial devil emperor. Rumble. With a loud rumble, the golden light dissolved the demonic cultivator's attack. At the same time, tens of millions of imprints gathered around Tion Xin, and a demonic divine spear appeared. The dazzling golden light spread out for 30,000 miles. It was the first time a demonic weapon had appeared in the world. In the sky above the heavenly demon ancestral land, even someone as powerful as the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor felt an indescribable coldness. His face darkened, and he gathered all his power. Murky demonic aura spread out for 10,000 miles. 7 huge demonic suns appeared around the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor. Each of them seemed to have a shocking power that could destroy the world. When the 7 suns appeared, all spells were destroyed. In the next moment, the golden divine spear pierced through the void. The terrifying imperial might pierced through space and time. The spear disappeared, and when it reappeared, it was already in the sky above the heavenly demon ancestral land. The power that surpassed space and time could no longer be restrained by time and space. The demonic divine spear carried endless murderous intent, and it was determined to kill the sovereign of the sorcerer tribe in front of it. Ha! The Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor yelled before the crisis. 7 demonic suns flew around him, and the 7 stars lined up to block the golden divine spear in front of him. Boom! The 2 attacks collided. The universe shook, and the aftershock forced the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor to take a few steps back. Blood spurted out of his mouth. The Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor was injured in the second attack of the battle between the sovereigns. The world was shocked. How could this be? For a moment, all the experts in the primordial demon realm who were watching the battle were shocked. The sovereign of the sorcerer tribe had just entered the sovereign realm. How could he have the power to suppress the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor? Above the heavenly demon ancestral land, the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor looked at the 12 gods' shadows in the sky. His eyes narrowed. What a powerful aura! Were these the guardian gods of the sorcerer tribe? The appearance of the 12 shamans shook the world. A powerful pressure fell from the sky and suppressed the demonic power in the primordial demon realm. Below, with the appearance of the shamans, the army of the sorcerer tribe seemed to be assisted by the gods. Golden light shone around them as they turned into heavenly soldiers and generals and rushed to the south. At the same time, the heavenly demon imperial army and the royal city guards gathered in the royal city. They were ready to face the biggest crisis in the history of the heavenly demon imperial tribe. 5,000 miles north of the heavenly demon imperial city, 200,000 heavenly demon soldiers gathered and faced the army of the sorcerer tribe that was rushing toward them. In the sky, the 2 sovereigns who were facing each other from 10,000 miles away flew out. In the blink of an eye, they were fighting head-on. The new sorcerer tribe sovereign raised her slender hand and blocked the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor's fist with softness. With the heaven-shattering fist and the heaven-transforming hand, the 2 sovereigns fought in close combat. Their moves were full of hidden power. The time and space around them had disappeared. It could not withstand the power of the 2 sovereigns for a moment. While the 2 sovereigns were fighting, the armies of the sorcerer tribe and the heavenly demon tribe also started fighting. The fierce battle was so intense that powerhouses from the 2 tribes kept falling from the sky. Blood splattered and fell like rain. In the most intense battle, the 2 armies suffered heavy casualties, especially the heavenly demon army. After losing the general who could fight against the 12 shamans, the 200,000 heavenly demon soldiers were losing twice as fast. Before long, 30% of them were dead or injured. In the sky, the 2 sovereigns began to bleed. They were fighting in close combat, and every move was deadly. Even with the recovery ability of the sovereigns, they could not heal their injuries in a short time. Boom! With a shocking explosion, the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor punched Tion Xion's left shoulder. The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Tion Xion's left shoulder was completely shattered, and his left arm hung limply. However, at the same time, Tion Xion's right hand pierced through the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor's chest. Blood gushed out and dyed the sovereign's clothes red. Back off! The Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor roared furiously. Demonic chi erupted around him and pushed the person in front of him back. 100 feet away, Tian Xen steadied himself. He glanced at his left shoulder and frowned slightly. He reached out his hand and regenerated the broken bone. Chapter 1206. The night gradually passed in the primordial demon region. When dawn arrived, the sounds of battle stopped. The sorcerer tribe army continued southward, rushing towards the heavenly demonic imperial city. In the heavenly demonic imperial city, 100,000 imperial guards rushed back in time, ready to fight the incoming sorcerer tribe army. The final battle attracted the attention of everyone. A tense atmosphere filled the imperial city. Everyone, from the royal family to the common people, began to panic. In the sky above the imperial palace, as the sorcerer tribe army approached the city, the purplish-black providence became weaker. It was the first time in thousands of years that the heavenly demonic imperial family was forced into such a sorry state. In the north of the imperial city, the sorcerer tribe army stopped. In front of the army, the 12 sorcerer empresses stood in the air, their powerful royal aura shaking the kings in the imperial city. The final moment had arrived. In the 13th prince residence, Ning Chen's weathered face was filled with emotions. After so many years of planning, the day had finally come. In the deepest part of the heavenly demonic ancestral land, the 2 demon emperors looked to the north, their faces turning gloomier. "We can't wait any longer. It's time to make a decision," the 8 Desolation Demon Emperor said. The 7 Luminaries Demon Emperor was silent. After a while, he sighed softly. "Summon Xian Ke to the palace. Let's take a gamble." If Xian Ke could successfully enter the imperial path, the imperial city's crisis would be resolved. If he failed, it would be troublesome. In the 9th prince residence, Xian Ke, who had just been conferred the title of crown prince, was looking in the direction of the 3rd emperor palace. He did not have the time to care about the sorcerer tribe army approaching the city. Behind Xian Ke, an old black-robed demonic figure was quietly guarding him, just like how it had been for hundreds of years. "9th prince, the demon emperor has ordered you to come to the palace immediately." At this moment, demonic chi surged in the crown prince residence. The messenger appeared, holding the demon emperor's token and speaking politely. Hearing this, Xian Ke's eyes lit up. He bowed respectfully to the messenger in the air and walked out of the residence without saying anything. After hundreds of years of waiting, this moment had finally come. Outside the heavenly demonic imperial city, the sorcerer tribe army of 200,000 soldiers arrived. The black mass of armored soldiers gave the people in the imperial city an unparalleled pressure. On the city tower, Commander Xian Mo stood quietly, looking at the sorcerer tribe army in front of her. Her eyes calmly but with seriousness. In front of the city gate tower, a young man in plain clothes walked over. His extraordinary temperament attracted the attention of many. 13th Prince. Everywhere he passed, the imperial army soldiers respectfully bowed and greeted him. Ning Chen nodded and didn't say anything else. He took a step forward and leaped into the air. On the city gate tower, Xian Mo sensed someone behind her. She turned around and bowed. "Greetings, Your Highness." "No need to be so courteous, Grand Commander." Ning Chen replied softly and stepped forward. He looked at the shaman army in front of him and asked calmly, "How's the situation?" "Reporting to Your Highness." Xian Mo's expression turned serious as she said, "The sorcerer tribe hasn't started attacking the city yet. They should be waiting for an opportunity." Ning Chen's eyes narrowed. The opportunity would come soon. At the same time, in front of the 90,000 stone steps of the 3 sovereigns' palace, Xian Ke, who was dressed in the crown prince's luxurious robes, appeared and ascended to the sky step by step. 99,900 steps led straight to the heavens. Above the stone steps stood 3 majestic palaces, which had become the faith of the celestial devil imperial family for thousands of years. On this day, the crown prince ascended to the heavens, preparing to inherit the imperial legacy. Demonic chi surged in front of the 2 palaces on the left and right. The 7 luminaries demon emperor and the 8 desolation demon emperor appeared amidst the boundless demonic chi. "Xian Ke." The 7 luminaries demon emperor said calmly, "I'll ask you one more time. Are you willing to inherit the legacy of our race?" "I am willing," Xian Ke said firmly. "Very good." The 7 luminaries demon emperor nodded and yelled. Demonic chi surged around him as powerful imperial might spread and shrouded the entire 3 emperors' palace. As the demon emperor made his move, the purplish-black imperial fate above the 3 emperors' palace exploded. Endless fate energy surged out and dyed the sky above the imperial city into a purplish-black ocean. The moment the 7 luminaries demon emperor made his move, the 8 desolation demon emperor made his move as well. Powerful energy surged wildly as they worked together with the 7 luminaries demon emperor to channel the imperial fate energy into Xian Ke's body. At this moment, the earth-shattering scene shocked everyone. Everyone looked over in shock. Xian Ke grunted as the imperial fate energy entered his body. Intense pain spread throughout his body and spread to every inch of his meridians. The fate energy that had accumulated for countless years was indescribably vast. As the fate energy entered his body, Xian Ke's body slowly rose and floated between heaven and earth. In the sky, the purplish-black ocean of fate energy turned into a giant whirlpool and devoured Xian Quebec below him. The 2 demon emperors poured all the fate energy into Xian Ke's body with the help of imperial laws. Boom! The heavens and earth sensed the heaven-defying action. Dark clouds swept across the sky as thunder and lightning rumbled across the 9 heavens. Ningchen looked back at the scene from the city tower in the distance. His expression was still calm, without the slightest change. Behind him, Inji wore a heavy expression. This was the outcome that the ghost race did not want to see the most. In the end, the 2 demon emperors still did not choose the 13th prince. "Your Highness." Inji opened her mouth, but she did not know what to say. "Wait," Ningchen replied calmly. He looked at the sky above the 3 emperors' palace and did not say anything else. Looking at the former's calm expression, Inji frowned slightly. She was puzzled. Now, she could not understand the 13th prince. Now that the throne had been decided, the 13th prince was still indifferent. On the side, Xian Emo looked at the young man beside her. A thoughtful look flashed across her eyes. Outside the imperial city, in front of the sorcerer tribe's army, the sky shook. A beautiful figure walked out from the golden light. She looked at the scene above the 3 emperors' palace with a serious expression, but she was not in a hurry to make a move. Now, there were 2 demon emperors and endless fate energy. Even if she made a move, she would not be able to stop it. In the distance, the 4 demon emperors of the divine capital mountain, the holy region, the stone tribe, and the purple scale abyss watched the changes in the heavenly devil imperial city. Finally, they chose to stop watching. "Everyone, it's time for us to make a move." On the divine capital mountain, the Lord of Divine Capital, Yu, spoke. He waved his hand and a crescent blade appeared. He took a step forward and disappeared. At the same time, 3 figures walked out from the stone tribe, the holy region, and the purple scale abyss and flew toward the heavenly devil imperial city. The demon emperors moved. In the space that was constantly torn apart, the demon emperors' figures flashed. In an extremely short time, they had arrived at the primordial demon region from various continents. The 4 demon emperors appeared at the same time. The sky above the primordial demon region twisted violently, unable to bear the shocking power. With the arrival of the 4 demon emperors, all the heavenly devils in the heavenly devil imperial city were in despair. They could not imagine the fate of the imperial city. On the tower of the imperial city, Ningchen looked toward the east. A look of nostalgia flashed across his face. He had been away for so long. How were they? His mission in the primordial demon region was about to end. It was time to prepare to go back. Before he could finish his thoughts, the 4 demon emperors walked out of thin air around the imperial city. A terrifying pressure pressed down. Suddenly, a huge crack appeared in the sky above the 3 emperors' palace. The apocalypse had descended upon the heavenly devils. Chapter 1207. The 4 emperors walked out of the celestial demon imperial city, the center of power of the celestial demon clan. With the arrival of the final battle, the entire celestial demon imperial city fell silent. One could even hear a pin drop. On the city tower, Xian Mo saw the 4 emperors appear. Her expression turned serious and she said, "Men, escort the crown prince back." 2 imperial guards stepped forward and said respectfully, "Your Highness, please." Ningchen nodded and did not refuse. He turned and walked down the city tower. "Get into formation." After Ningchen left, Xianmo looked forward and ordered in a low voice. With this order, the 100,000 soldiers of the imperial army swiftly moved into action, demonic qi surging out like an unfathomable ocean. At the front, Xianmo held the military saber at her waist and slowly pulled it out. At that moment, the demonic qi above the 100,000 imperial guards surged toward the Grand Commander. With the 100,000 imperial guards' help, demonic qi surged around Xianmo like waves. She slowly rose into the air and looked at the emperors, facing each other. Legend has it that if Grand Commander Xianmo of the Celestial Demon Imperial family has 100,000 imperial guards, she can stop the emperors. Today, let me see if the legend is true. As she spoke, the Lord of the Divine Capital, Yulu, walked over with his saber. The crescent moon saber was mighty and could cut the sun and moon. The emperors raised their saber, and a powerful emperor's aura rose rapidly. In an instant, a dark force rushed into the sky and pierced through the 9 heavens. On the city tower, Xianmo focused and raised her military saber. Vast demonic qi surged. The 100,000 imperial guards got into formation. The change in quantity led to a change in quality. Vaguely, the emperor's aura spread out, and the sun and moon moved in reverse. In the next moment, the crescent moon and the military saber collided. An incomparably terrifying power swept out from the king and emperor in a head-on confrontation, destroying everything in the world as easily as crushing dry weeds and rotten wood. Bang! After one move, the 100,000 imperial guards and 30,000 soldiers exploded, turning into blood and bones that scattered at the foot of the imperial city. On the city tower, Xianmo grunted and took half a step back. Blood dripped from the corner of her mouth and dyed the armor on her chest red. Emperors were invincible. The celestial demon imperial guards were invincible. The celestial demon grand commanders were kings, but they could only lose when facing emperors. The rumors are true. Unfortunately, you will still be defeated. Yulu's face flashed with admiration as he looked at the unyielding king before him. Then, he flipped his palm and activated his ultimate move. The murky dark force swept up the wind and clouds within 10,000 miles. The might of a ruler was immeasurable. Just as the 2 kings were exchanging blows, in front of the 3 sovereigns' palace, a shocking phenomenon occurred. The 2 demon emperors worked together to channel the fate of the royal family into the 9th prince's body. They were willing to pay any price to add a new sovereign to the Sky Devil royal family. Outside the imperial city, the Stone Emperor, the Lord of the Sanctuary, and the Scale Emperor flew out and arrived above the 3 sovereigns' palace. The 3 sovereigns arrived at the same time, and the sky changed color. In front of the imperial palace, the 2 demon sovereigns looked gloomy. They shouted angrily and activated their demonic vitality, attacking the 3 sovereigns in the sky. A futile struggle. The 3 demon emperors snorted coldly and launched a palm attack at the same time. Boom! As the sovereigns fought, the sky and the earth turned upside down. Terrifying shockwaves swept out, and the entire imperial city felt as if doomsday had arrived. Just as the imperial city was in danger and the people were in danger, in the Jilyo king's mansion, which had been quiet all this time, a surging palm energy broke through the air. It directly dispersed the aftershock of the 5 sovereigns' fight and stabilized the shaking ground. With Jilyo's attack, the crisis of the people in the imperial city was resolved. With the Jilyo king's mansion as the center, black demonic flames spread out and protected the entire imperial city. In the sky, the 3 sovereigns looked down at the Jilyo king's mansion, and their eyes were solemn. Xian Jilyo, the peerless genius of the ancient era, was undoubtedly more powerful than 7 luminaries and 8 baron. If he attacked, it would be troublesome. In the north of the imperial city, In front of the sorcerer tribe's army, Tion Xian walked over. His body shone with golden light, and his imperial might was shocking. With the arrival of the four sovereigns, the imperial might in the sky above the imperial city was even heavier. The people were terrified and kneeled on the ground, trembling. In the Jiuyo king's mansion, Shen Jiuyo looked at the four sovereigns in the sky. His demonic might spread out, protecting the people in the imperial city from the shockwaves of the battle. Let's continue. Seeing that the Jiuyo demonic emperor had no intention of attacking, the lord of the sacred region was slightly relieved. The stone emperor and the scale emperor nodded. They activated their vital essences and attacked the ninth prince of the heavenly demon tribe, who was in the ocean of fate. In the three emperors' palace, the two demonic emperors attacked again. Demonic chi shot up into the sky, and the powerful demonic might blocked the attack of the three sovereigns. In an instant, there was an earth-shattering tremor. The aftermath swept out, and the space collapsed. The sky immediately turned dark. It was difficult to defend against the joint attack of the three sovereigns. The two demonic emperors groaned, and the corners of their mouths turned red. The imperial family was in danger. In the distance, the heart-burning sword light and the fire beacon spear light broke through the sky at the same time. In the sky, the stone emperor and the lord of the sacred region turned around and blocked the sword light and the spear light with their palms. They looked at the two approaching people with murderous intent in their eyes. The number one sword in the world, Xuanqi, and the heavenly demon war god, Azura. They had rushed back in the end. Sorcerer Emperor, I'll leave them to you. The lord of the sacred region said in a deep voice. Okay. Tion Xian nodded. She raised her slender hand, and thousands of beams of golden light swept out. The sorcerer emperor attacked. Azura and Xian Qi stopped and activated their ultimate vitality, raising their combat power to the limit. Celestial demon battle god, the best sword in the world. The two cultivators below the imperial plane joined hands to block the imperial might. But in the void, the cosmic laws collapsed. The two peerless cultivators of the celestial demon imperial family each took half a step back to block the golden light. It was a shocking battle. In the sky above the imperial city, almost all the cultivators of the original demon territory attacked. This battle would decide the future of the original demon territory. Just as the imperial plane cultivators were about to fight, a figure in plain clothes walked through the imperial city. She was surrounded by the light of the divine prohibition, blocking all auras. In the north of the imperial city, the battle between the lord of the divine capital Yulu and Commander Xian Mo was getting more and more intense. Behind Xian Mo, almost all the imperial guards had been killed. Xian Mo was also severely injured. Her body was covered in cracks, and she could barely hold on. Around the battle, the city walls collapsed. In the flying dust and sand, the figure in plain clothes walked through and disappeared into the distance silently. Behind them, in the sky above the three emperors' palace, Tion Xian alone blocked Xian Qi and Azura. Not far away, the other three sovereigns worked together and kept attacking the ninth prince of the heavenly devil territory. They knew very well that the ninth prince was the last hope of the heavenly devil royal tribe. As long as they destroyed the ninth prince's possibility of attaining the Tao, the heavenly devil royal tribe would have no chance of turning the tables. In front of the imperial palace, the 7 luminaries demon emperor and the 8 desolation demon emperor looked more and more serious. They were the first to show weakness in the face of the 3 sovereigns. Scale Emperor, what are you waiting for? The 7 luminaries demon emperor roared at the sky at the critical moment of life and death. The earth-shattering voice resounded through the 9 heavens. While everyone was stunned, the Scale Emperor in the sky showed a strange smile. As you wish. As he spoke, a shocking scene took place in the sky. The Scale Emperor condensed essence in his right palm, and a dark force surged out. He pressed his palm against the Stone Emperor's heart. Boom! The earth-shattering palm came without any warning. Before the Stone Emperor could react, he felt a sharp pain in his back. The stone heart that contained the origin of life was blasted out of his body. You! The Stone Emperor turned around and looked at the Scale Emperor behind him in disbelief. In front of the three emperors' palace, the seven luminaries' demon emperor came to his senses. He activated the essence in his palm and slammed it against the stone emperor's stone heart with all his might. Boom! The stone emperor's stone heart crumbled under the shocking demonic palm. The stone emperor's origin of life in the stone heart scattered and returned to the world. With the stone heart destroyed, the royal aura around the stone emperor in the sky quickly dissipated. His body fell from the sky powerlessly. In the distance, outside the imperial city, Ningchen turned around and saw this scene. He didn't look too surprised. After a while, Ningchen turned around and continued walking forward. At the same time, in the sky above the three emperors' palace, Xian Kei's eyes suddenly opened. Intense fear rose in them. However, it was all too late. Under the shocked gazes of the emperors, Xian Kei's body exploded. Blood splattered everywhere and dyed the three emperors' palace red. Chapter 1208. In the final battlefield of the celestial devil imperial city, an emperor had perished and the crown prince had exploded. This was a battle where many variables had appeared, shocking the world. In the blink of an eye, both sides had suffered heavy losses. This was out of everyone's expectations, be it the four great imperial clans or the heavenly devil clan. Outside the imperial city, a plain-clothed figure was walking away. His white hair danced in the wind. He had been plotting for many years, and this single move shocked the world. In the sky above the imperial city, the various emperors recovered from their shock, and their faces darkened. Emperor of Scales. The lord of the divine capital, Yulu, blasted away the black ink in front of him with a swing of his blade. His silhouette flashed and came to the top of the three emperors' palace. He swung his crescent moon and slashed at the traitorous emperor of the Scaled clan. The Scaled emperor leaned to the side and flipped his palm to block the reclining moon blade. With a bang, sparks flew in all directions. His absolute defense was indestructible. Due to the alliance, the feud between the two races was temporarily put aside. However, with the betrayal of the Scaled emperor, Yulu's martial fate turned into extreme essence and waved his long blade, cutting through the sky and breaking the sea. In the face of the Lord of God Capital's powerful attack, the Scaled emperor did not dare to be careless. The demonic vitality around him spread out and his absolute defense was pushed to the limit. This was the most extreme confrontation between offense and defense. The two emperors fought in close combat. Every move they made was destructive. Life and death were on the line. Not far away, Shaman Emperor Tian Xen was fighting 1 against 2. Emperor Dao laws spread out, and golden light spread out for 10,000 miles, blocking the joint attack of Heavenly Devil Battle God and number 1 Sword Under Heaven. The level of the battle between supreme experts was already beyond the reach of ordinary experts. In front of the three sovereigns' palace, the two devil emperors had already suppressed their anger to the extreme. At this moment, all of it erupted. Heavenly Demon 8 transformations set the universe. The dual demons appeared at the same time. The 8 transformations secret art was used, and in an instant, 2 gigantic demons rose from the ground. Their fists and feet swept out, shattering everything. In the air, the Lord of the Sacred Region's expression hardened. He took a step forward, and with a rumbling sound, the sun god appeared behind him. His enormous body shone with dazzling golden light. The Lord of the Sacred Region used the Golden Lion race's secret technique to multiply his attack power. He was able to take on 2 demons by himself. Rumble. The battle between gods and devils caused the heavens to collapse and the earth to be destroyed. The aftermath of the great battle spread out, but after encountering the demonic flames below, it quickly disappeared. Seeing that the battle was not going well, on the battlefield not far away, Tian Xen flipped his palm and blasted away 2 sky demon peerless powerhouses. Golden light shot into the sky around his body, and the shadows of the 12 grand wizards appeared in the human world. The 12 deities of the sorcerer tribe appeared in the world. In the north of the imperial city, the 12 sorcerer queens shone with golden light. With the support of the sovereign law, their auras multiplied. Darkmoon Reds, now, I'll leave them to you, Tian Xen said solemnly before he turned around and headed towards the battlefield. In the sky above the three emperors' palace, Tian Xen entered the game and joined forces with the Lord of the Holy Region to fight against the two Sky Devil Emperors. It was a battle of tit for tat. The 6 Emperor Dao experts were in a life-and-death battle, and every single move they made shook the stars that covered the sky. At this point in the battle, there was no longer any room for retreat. The 6 Dao Divine Emperors displayed their world-shocking abilities and were determined to kill their opponents here. 3 against 3, your plan has failed. The 7 Luminaries Demon Emperor yelled coldly in front of the palace while channeling the power of the 7 suns. Even if I am alone, I will send all of you into Avicii. With that, Tian Xen let out a soft roar and the blood chi around him surged in the opposite direction. The forbidden technique of the sorcerer tribe was unleashed, borrowing life from the heavens. In order to slay the twin demons, he borrowed life from the heavens. Tian Xen's blood chi burned intensely, so all of his lifespan was converted into pure saint power. His ultimate move, demon slaying, appeared in the mortal world. Heavenly punishment demon slaying seal. His saint power was pushed to the limit, and the saint demon slaying seal appeared. The golden light around Tian Xen was dyed blood red. The forbidden technique that had never appeared in the mortal world showed its power for the first time. Above the 9 heavens, Xian Song sensed it and thunder rumbled. He was moved by this shocking technique. Boom! Thunder fell, illuminating the dim mortal world. Under the lightning, the Saint Demon-Slaying Seal's power became even more shocking. Imperial blood splattered and dyed Tian Xen's body red. In front of the 3 Emperors' palace, the 7 Luminaries Demon Emperor and the 8 Desolation Demon Emperor sensed it, and their expressions changed. Just as the 6 Emperors were fighting to the death, a white-haired figure in plain clothes walked over in front of the celestial demon ancestral land. The wind at the end of his clothes was cold and bleak. The celestial demon ancestral land was the forbidden ground of the celestial demon clan. Apart from the 3 demon emperors and a few princes, no one dared to enter and die. Today, the celestial demon clan's top combat power had all been used. The defense of the celestial demon ancestral land was like an empty shell. This was a fleeting opportunity, and there was no room for hesitation. Ning Chen stepped into the celestial demon ancestral land and walked deeper into the ancestral land. 13th Prince, a messenger appeared, but before he could finish speaking, a cold light flashed across the sky. The sword had cut his throat. Blood gushed out and dyed the ground red. The messenger was stunned and fell down powerlessly. Even in death, he couldn't close his eyes. In front of him, Ning Chen didn't stop at all. Blood dripped from the ghost sword in his hand, dyeing the path ahead bloody. In the knowing destiny state, he had walked through storms and slaughtered his way out of an endless sea of blood. Today, he had already forgotten what it meant to be merciful. After walking for 100 miles, the 3 messengers behind him all fell into pools of blood. Ning Chen's fake smile was torn apart. His expression became unusually cold. The ghost sword in his hand was filled with ghost chi, reflecting a cold and emotionless face. In the ancestral land, the broken shells of several princes could still be seen. After the ancient defeat, all the top combat power of the celestial demon royal family had chosen to seal themselves, waiting for the day when they could rise again. However, after hundreds of thousands of years, the knowing destiny state had buried the ambitions of the celestial demon royal family once again. In the depths of the ancestral land, the demonic chi was getting thicker. At the front, a huge stone gate blocked the path ahead. It appeared out of nowhere and was impassable. Ning Chen stopped and looked at the stone gate in front of him. His eyes narrowed slightly. North Heaven Gate. Legend had it that in the ancient times, the celestial demon royal family had taken the treasure of the North Celestial World, the North Heaven Gate, during the war with the sky beyond heaven. Later, the celestial demon royal family was defeated and the primordial demon realm was sealed by the Queen Mother of the West. The North Heaven Gate was left in the primordial demon realm forever. The Heaven Gate had been strengthened by the demon emperors of the past with restrictive spells, so it couldn't be broken through. Fortunately, he was prepared. Ning Chen raised his hand and the Xianqing body appeared in the murky demonic chi. The purest celestial demon bloodlines still exuded a strong pressure. With a slap, the Xianqing body exploded. Ningchen shouted and the demonic qi around him surged. It devoured the Xianqing bloodline and covered his own aura. Ningchen entered and the heaven gate hummed. After sensing the aura of the celestial demon royal family, it gradually calmed down. Behind the heaven gate, the scenery changed. It was a boundless small world, dark and gloomy. In the small world, mountains rose and fell. Rivers could be seen everywhere. The world that was supposed to be full of vitality was lifeless. Ningchen stepped in and looked at the cold small world in front of him. His expression was unusually solemn. The Phoenix clan was defeated and the secret skill of the Phoenix clan was lost. The Phoenix Master said that the secret skill of the Phoenix clan was most likely in the celestial demon royal family. If that was the case, this place was the biggest hope. Thinking of this, Ningchen released his divine sense and searched for the whereabouts of the Phoenix Master's secret skill. 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. The boundless small world was dead silent. He couldn't sense anything unusual. Ningchen's eyes narrowed and he retracted his divine sense. He couldn't continue searching like this. The relic of the Phoenix clan might have been sealed. He couldn't find it in a short period of time. However, he didn't have much time. Once the two demon emperors returned, it would be really troublesome. Time was tight. Ningchen didn't hesitate anymore. He clenched his left hand and the celestial trapping sword appeared. With a clang, the celestial trapping sword fell into the ground. Suddenly, the celestial trapping sword exploded with shocking power. In the small world, the power of the ley lines surged and entered the celestial sword. As the power of the ley lines was devoured, the small world became unstable and started to shake. Above the ground, there was a loud rumble and the ground cracked. Large cracks spread out and reached thousands of miles away. The celestial sword showed its power. The small world started to collapse. Heaven and earth were damaged. Far away, a seal that had existed for countless years also showed a flaw. Suddenly, a phoenix cry resounded in the 9 heavens. In the broken seal, the blood-red shadow of a fire phoenix rushed into the clouds. It was earth-shattering. This is... At this moment, the 2 demon emperors above the 3 emperors' palace sensed it. Their expressions changed. Not good, the seal was broken. The 2 demon emperors were stunned for a moment. In front of them, the celestial life origin condensed by the holy demon-slaying seal pressed down. In an instant, the entire sky above the 3 emperors' palace was filled with golden light. The saint power crushed everything. Not far away, the lord of the sanctuary used the Golden Lion clan's supreme battle technique. His attack was 10 times stronger, helping the demon emperor to kill the 2 demon emperors. In front of a life and death crisis, the 2 demon emperors quickly came back to their senses. Their demonic skills exploded. The huge fists of the demon bodies punched out to block the celestial demon-slaying seal. Boom! The clash between the celestial and demon emperors caused heaven and earth to collapse. The terrifying shockwaves spread out and destroyed everything in sight. As the saint power entered their bodies, the 2 demon emperors' lips turned red at the same time. The ground beneath them cracked and spread. The imperial palace that was the pinnacle of the heavenly demon imperial tribe's power collapsed. Ugh! The 8th Desolation demon emperor had yet to recover from his old injuries. Now that he was severely injured by the saint power, cracks appeared all over his body. Demon blood gushed out and dyed the battlefield red. Now is the time. Help me, Holy Lord. Now that the opportunity had appeared, he could not miss it. Tian Xen shouted softly and raised his Saint Qi again. In an instant, the 12 ancestral sorcerers opened their eyes in the sky. Boundless saint power spread down and entered the demon emperor's bodies. Not far away, the lord of the sanctuary made a prompt decision. He dashed out and unleashed his greatest combat strength. He attacked with all his might, forcing the 7 luminaries demon emperor to retreat and separating the 2 demon emperors. In front of the imperial palace, the 8th Desolation demon emperor was no longer obstructed. In the sky, Tian Xen was surrounded by golden light, illuminating the entire heavenly demon imperial city. His strongest move had surpassed the limits of the demon emperors. A bloody scar split open between Tian Xian's eyebrows. He opened his heavenly eye to observe the world. Inside the 8 Desolation Demon Emperor's body, a blood-red heart was beating. It was so hot and dazzling. In the next moment, Tian Xian's figure fell rapidly. A golden divine spear appeared in his hand. He burned his life force to unleash his final move. As the god of death approached, the 8 Desolation Demon Emperor's pupils shrank. He crossed his arms formed by demon chi to block the incoming attack. Boom! In the earth-shattering collision, the 8 Desolation Demon Emperor's arms collapsed. The golden divine spear was unstoppable. It pierced through the demon's chest. Ugh! The divine spear pierced through the demon's body. The 8 Desolation Demon Emperor grunted and retreated. The spear wound on his chest could not be healed. It was the end of his life. The demon kneeled on the ground. His demon chi quickly dissipated. Before his primordial spirit could leave his body, it was destroyed by the saint power in his body. 8 Desolation. The 7 luminaries' demon emperor's expression changed drastically. In front of the collapsed imperial palace, the demon knelt on the ground. Blood flowed from his chest and dyed the yellow springs road red. The strongest attack, the absolute defense, and the most extreme collision between the spear and the shield. Everything disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Ugh! Suddenly, a waterfall of blood sprayed into the sky and dyed the battlefield red. Just as the emperors of the primordial demon realm were fighting, in the Ziwei star zone beyond the heavens, the battle between the Scaled clan and the human race had reached its most critical stage. In the life sacrifice array, the Scaled clan used his absolute defense to block the attacks of the 2 human cultivators again and again. The long night was the time for the final battle. In the starry sky, the Dawn Moon Tower Master displayed her unparalleled cultivation. As her figure flashed, the spear and the sword moved side by side, each displaying shocking attainments. In the battle, the Scaled clan's expression became more and more serious. Every move he made was more alert. The 2 people in front of him had strange martial arts, especially the one in front of him. She cultivated both the spear and the sword at the same time, and had such shocking attainments. It was unbelievable. No matter who it was, there was a limit to one's energy. It was not easy to cultivate one martial art to the extreme. Cultivating 2 at the same time would be several times more difficult. Sword technique, sky slashing. The sword slashed through the sky. It was the same sword technique, but the sword will was different. The Dawn Moon Tower Master waved the divine sword in her hand, and a majestic sword aura was released. Born from the knowing destiny sword bones, sword will, and sword techniques, it was a step further. The shocking power of the sword slashed through the starry sky and swallowed the body of a king. The sword technique is not bad. Unfortunately, it is still futile. The Scaled clan raised his hand to block the sword aura. Then, his figure flashed and dodged the swallowing force of the spacetime turbulence. Demonic sword, sky slashing. He did not know that at this moment, below the Scaled clan, the brilliance of the demonic sword shot into the sky and slashed towards the former. Unable to dodge in time, the demonic sword aura hit his body. With a violent collision, the Scaled clan was sent flying 100 steps away. He staggered and stabilized himself. A sword mark appeared on the Scaled clan's chest. The absolute defense barely blocked the shocking sword. In front, the Dawn Moon Tower Master and Xia Zi stopped. They looked at the former Scaled clan with a serious expression. The Scaled clan's defense was indeed terrifying. The Scaled clan's attack just now had left the Scaled clan exposed, but he still managed to block the fatal attack with his absolute defense. It seems like we can't kill this person with just you and me, the Dawn Moon Tower Master said with a serious expression. Not far away, Xia Zi's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Mu Qingxue nodded and said calmly, "She has been hiding under her master's wings for so many years. Now, she should learn to spread her wings and fly." It's a pity for Ji Ming. Luo Fei sighed. Mark Yi Ming's life was full of ups and downs. In order to protect the people he cherished, he fought for his entire life. He almost never stopped to rest. In the end, Jiming blocked Er's calamity with his life. He gave up his phoenix body and a part of his soul to help his disciple be reborn. Without his phoenix body, Jiming lost more than just a doppelganger. He lost one of his 3 souls and his future was unpredictable. Mu Qingxue was silent. He looked forward with a calm and determined expression. Was it a pity? No, it was not a pity. As a master, it was his duty to protect his disciple. Ningchen only did what he was supposed to do. No matter what, the inheritance should not be tainted by the selfishness of the human heart. Just like 100 years ago, when Jiming was still young, Emperor Xia had wanted his life more than once. If Empress Zhang, son of the great Xia, had hesitated and did not care about her own gains and losses, then there would not be a Jiming Marquis in the world. Sword art, heavenly sword. In the battlefield, sword chi shot up to the sky around Ding. The stunning sword, combined with the power of the heavenly word, appeared in the world for the first time. In the starry sky, the sword chi was like stars, interweaving into a brilliant galaxy. The heavenly word sword was unprecedented. Demonic chi condensed into substance. The purest demon in the human world had transcended the limits of race and was the only one in the world. Hong Long, the doomsday sword, slashed down with the force of a landslide. The scaled king raised his hand to block the sword, and with a loud tremor, he retreated half a step. The king retreated, his aura rippling. An opportunity was right in front of him. In the blink of an eye, the phoenix moved with incredible speed and arrived in front of the king. The crimson sword tore through the air, and lightning curled around it. The energy of heaven and earth gathered, and the phoenix moved at extreme speed, breaking through the king-level protective true essence. True essence broke, and the vermilion sword shook the scale armor. The vermilion sword spun rapidly, and an ear-piercing friction resounded through the starry sky. "Stand down!" The scaled king roared angrily. He raised his hand and slapped at the woman before him. With danger looming over her, gathered the power of heaven and earth in front of her. However, it was difficult for her to block the power of the king's palm. With a bang, blood splattered, and her figure flew out 1,000 feet. 300 meters away, steadied herself and spat out a mouthful of blood. She was injured for the first time. Outside the battlefield, Mu Qingxue's body trembled slightly, and a hint of nervousness appeared on his beautiful face. On the side, Madame Luofei could feel the emotional changes in the woman beside her. She sighed in her heart. Taishang was oblivious to her feelings. Oblivious to her feelings did not mean that she was heartless. She still cared about him after all. There's no need to worry. That girl has the phoenix origin and her life force is extraordinary. Nothing will happen to her so easily. Madame Luofei comforted in a soft voice. Mu Qingxue nodded lightly. However, the worry on her face was still difficult to hide. Back then, when Ning Chen was extending Ina's life, the moon goddess's words were still vivid in her mind. That deity of the moon-worshipping clan had said that even if Ina obtained the phoenix origin and walked back from the gates of hell, there would be unresolvable sequelae in her body. The moon goddess's words had already come true when she was in the moon-worshipping clan. Under the mortal calamity, had spat out blood and fainted for no reason. She could not help but be worried. The intense battle had reached its climax. The 3 powerhouses of the human race had joined forces to kill the king of the scaled tribe. After exchanging 100 moves, they had all suffered injuries. The scales on the scaled king's chest had blocked the heavy blows again and again. It was an absolute defense that could not be broken. In the face of the scaled king's shocking defense, the 3 powerhouses of the human race had a clear division of labor. They were going to use everything they could to kill this great threat to the human race. In the past, they had protected the divine prefecture and fought against deities. Today, for the human race, they were going to fight the king of the scaled tribe again. In the battle, Xia Zi's eyes were cold and firm. They had never wavered before. So what if it was a human? So what if it was a demon? After going through the white calamity, The only thing that did not change was the purest heart. Give up on humanity and family. From today onwards, I will be the purest demon. I will follow my heart. On the battlefield, the demon who was fighting for his life was dyed red. However, the sword in his hand was even more firm. After 100 years of reincarnation, the knowing destiny disciple had inherited the phoenix's inheritance. He used the sword in his hand to protect the human race. In the turbulent starry sky, sword chi was everywhere. The powerhouses of the human race who were fighting a bloody battle were not willing to back down even if they were injured. Outside the battle, Mu Qingxue and Luofei looked at the battle in front of them with worry in their eyes. The life-sacrifice grand array devoured the heavens and destroyed the earth. In the center of the array, the aura of the Western King Hairpin was getting more and more shocking. It was about to succeed. The Scaled King felt it. He turned around and looked at the Western King Hairpin in the center of the array. His face turned serious. Time was almost up. He could not delay any longer. Thinking of this, the Scaled King shouted and released all of his demonic aura. Rumble! In an instant, a terrifying king's aura exploded. In the starry sky, the shadow of a scaled dragon that was thousands of feet long appeared. It looked like it had returned to its ancestor. It was shocking. Below the scaled dragon, the king stood in the air. His aura was unusually domineering. He wanted to finish off the three of them in the shortest time possible. The moment of victory had arrived. In the battle, the three of them did not hold back anymore and used all of their techniques. Phoenix fire, demonic aura, and the yellow spring aura spread out. Behind the three of them, three huge avatars of the phoenix, demon, and reincarnation appeared at the same time. The unprecedented battle had finally come to an end. The demonic cycle lasted for thousands of years. Xia Zi swung the demonic sword in his hand. Black feathers danced in the sky. The demonic aura was shocking. Stepping forward, Xia Zi's figure swept forward. He slashed down with his sword, shattering the starry sky. The demonic sword cut down the scaled dragon. An earth-shattering explosion sounded. The demon's figure flew out thousands of feet. His blood dyed the starry sky red. Roar! After being heavily injured, the scaled dragon roared and charged forward with its broken body. I'll leave it to you. Chapter 12:11. In the heavenly demon ancestral land, the Phoenix tribe's providence returned. The Phoenix will entered knowing destiny's body. As the Phoenix tribe's providence entered knowing destiny's body, the 9 Emperor Pearl shattered. Even his cultivation that had been suppressed by the gate of immortality fluctuated slightly. Although it was only for a moment, it was very clear. Ning Chen's aura changed. The demonic chi dissipated, and the Phoenix fire burned again. His temperament changed in an instant. He was less gloomy and more noble. The heavenly demon ancestral land changed. In front of the 3 emperors' palace, the 7 brilliance demon emperor was shocked. He looked at the ancestral land in the distance. At this moment, he finally understood the origin of the conspiracy. The 13 scions of the heavenly demon. It was him. They had been fooled by him all these years. Boom! The moment he was distracted, the Lord of the Sacred Region attacked. His attack was 10 times stronger, and it shattered the stars. The 7 brilliance demon emperor quickly came back to his senses. He threw out a heavy punch with the help of the 10,000 feet demonic body. It was an earth-shattering attack. The 2 sovereigns showed off their strength. Their domineering power clashed, and the imperial aura spread for tens of thousands of miles. This was a world-shocking decisive battle. After the extreme powers clashed, the 2 individuals both retreated more than 10 steps. Cracks appeared on their bodies. Ha! The 2 sovereigns circulated their essence dispersing technique to heal themselves. In an instant, they dashed out and clashed with their imperial aura again. The 2 burning like divine suns kept clashing with each other. The world couldn't bear the terrifying battle. The entire imperial city was on the verge of collapsing. In the 9 underworld palace, Xian Jiuyo saw this and yelled. Demonic flames surged, and he channeled another 30% of his power. The demonic flames sealed the world and stabilized the imperial city. The demonic cultivators had their own principles. They wouldn't help the evildoers, but they didn't want to vent their anger on innocent people either. While the Seven Brilliance Demon Emperor was in a critical situation, the Scaled Emperor was also at a disadvantage. The Lord of the Divine Capital, Yuluo, used his 9 heavens god-slaying art. A huge saber light split the starry sky and landed on the Scaled Emperor. Blood splattered everywhere, and the sky was dyed red. The Scaled Emperor let out a muffled groan and took a few steps back. Cracks appeared on the red scales. The Scaled tribe's absolute defense was broken. The Scaled Emperor was shocked. Looking at the cracked scales on his chest, his face was filled with disbelief. Is it strange? You and I are both at the Sovereign Tao. Why are you so sure that I cannot break through your defense? In the sky above the 7 luminaries' demonic emperor, the first imperial weapon of the sky demons, the demonic seal, appeared. It drew in the remaining power of providence in the world and forcefully blocked the attacks of the 2 emperors. The last trump card, the imperial weapon, moved Xiansong. Horrifying demonic qi swept out, and a supreme demonic might press down on the 2. An imperial weapon? Seeing this, the Lord of the Sacred Region's eyes flashed. He flipped his left hand, and waves of fire soared into the sky. Amid the shocking temperature, a golden divine cauldron rose. The violent royal aura spread out, burning the sky and boiling the sea. The divine sun cauldron appeared, and the sky and the earth were split in half. In the sky, the 2 imperial weapons were facing each other. Demonic qi and waves of fire kept clashing with each other. As soon as the imperial weapons appeared, the royal aura condensed above the 3 emperors' palace. Waves of demonic flames protecting the imperial city immediately dispersed. They couldn't withstand the earth-shattering royal aura. In the 9 Serenities' palace, Xian Jiuyo frowned slightly. After a while he yelled. Demonic flames soared into the sky. 9 beams of light flew out of the flames and dashed toward the imperial city. The Xianjie appeared again and split into 9. They entered the imperial city and forcefully stabilized the shaking heaven and earth. In front of the 3 emperors' palace, the royal aura clashed, and the battle became more and more intense. The 2 peerless emperors clashed, and the outcome was about to be decided. With the help of the imperial weapons, their combat strength reached the peak. The aura around the 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor and the Lord of the Sacred Region became violent. They gathered all their cultivation into one move. Behind the 7 Brilliance Demon Emperor, a black demonic sun rose into the sky. Wherever the demonic sun's brilliance shone, the heaven and earth dimmed. In the sky above the Lord of the Sacred Region, a golden divine sun appeared. The divine sun's brilliance spread out, and the heaven and earth returned to normal. As the 2 moves were about to clash, Tian Xion's figure danced 1,000 feet away. His saint vital energy surged and merged with the golden divine sun. In an instant, the demonic sun and divine sun merged. It was the most extreme collision. A god and a demon clashed in the mortal world again. Boom! The 2 forces clashed, and the dazzling brilliance illuminated the world. In the violent collision, the space above the 3 emperors' palace collapsed and turned into darkness. After the extreme collision, one person fell into the dust, while the other remained standing. Suddenly, a muffled groan sounded. In the sky, blood burst out of the Lord of the Sacred Region's chest and dyed the heaven and earth red. Not far away, the demonic cultivator who had fallen into the dust was covered in cracks. His life was hanging by a thread. In front of him, a golden divine spear appeared in Tian Xion's right hand. He walked forward step by step, trying to end this long battle. The demonic race was in danger, and the 4 sovereign races were about to succeed. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying demonic aura came down from the sky in the east. It surpassed everyone present. It was invincible. This is... At this moment, in the heavenly demon ancestral land, Ning Chen sensed something. He looked to the east with a grim expression. The first Kuan demon emperor. He had finally returned. In the sky above the 3 emperors' palace, the sorcerer emperor, the Lord of the Sacred Region, and the Lord of the Divine Capital sensed the shocking demonic aura from afar. Their expressions changed as well. Not good. The three sovereigns, who were severely injured and no longer at their peak, looked at the peerless demonic cultivator walking out from afar. Their faces gradually darkened. In the distant void, the first Kuan demon emperor walked through the void. He stepped on the great Tao, and his body was covered in chaos. He was a supreme being. Retreat. The lord of the divine capital was the first to come back to his senses. He looked at the two sovereigns not far away and reminded them. In front of the three emperors' palace, the sorcerer emperor and the lord of the sacred region looked at each other. Although they were unwilling, they knew that the situation was hopeless. They flashed and left the battlefield. Go! In the void, Tian Exen pushed away the two sovereigns of the demonic race with one palm. He looked at the 12 shamans and ordered. The 12 shamans accepted the order and didn't dare to hesitate. They all retreated and left the battlefield. The situation was completely reversed because of the return of one person. The first Kuan demon emperor, who had a demonic nature, shocked everyone present. Just as the situation in the primordial demon realm changed, the battle that would decide the fate of the human race in the Ziwei star zone was also coming to an end. Mu Qingxue, who had replaced Yin, displayed the most shocking speed. Even the sovereigns of the scaled race couldn't see his movements clearly. The Dawn Moonhouse Master and Xia Zi stepped forward. In order to create a chance for Mu Qingxue to deal a fatal blow, they suppressed their injuries and reappeared. In the life sacrifice array, the Western King hairpin floated up and down. Its spirit chi recovered, and its immortal might shook the heavens and the earth. The time was up. The severely injured sovereign didn't want to waste any more time. He used the last of his strength and attacked the three. In the final collision, the two strongest sovereigns of the scaled race clashed. A terrifying aftershock spread out, and ghosts cried. The aftershock caused the scaled king to retreat, leaving him vulnerable. 10,000 feet away, Mu Qingxue moved and dodged the terrifying palm energy with absolute speed. In the starry sky, his white robe was like lightning. In the blink of an eye, the red sword in his hand pierced through the chest of the sovereign. Arg! The sword entered the sovereign's body and destroyed his heart meridians. The scaled king coughed out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with disbelief. I lost. How could this be? Looking back at the Western King hairpin floating in the center of the array, the scaled king's eyes shone brightly. He shouted angrily, and his body exploded. Retreat! Seeing this, Mu Qingxue's expression changed slightly. He reminded the others and immediately retreated from the battle. Not far away, Xia Zi and the Dawn Moonhouse Master were half a step behind. They were blown away by the aftershock of the sovereign's self-destruction. In the array, the Western King hairpin flew out and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Sacrificing his life and using the last of his strength, the Western King hairpin flew out faster and faster. In the blink of an eye, it passed through the starry sky and flew toward the Red Phoenix star zone. In the fog of the star zone, in front of the passage between the two worlds, the void swirled. A golden hairpin flew out, and its majestic immortal might twisted the sky. After the hairpin, the scaled king's soul appeared. The chaotic soul power could dissipate at any time. With a shout, the scaled king slapped the hairpin. Immediately, the hairpin flew into the passage between the two worlds. The immortal might exploded. A great tremor shook the two worlds. The immortal seal that had sealed the primordial demon realm for tens of thousands of years collapsed. The aftershock instantly devoured the sovereign's remnant soul. At the last moment, the scaled king smiled. Although he died, he had no regrets. In the primordial demon realm, the seal collapsed, and the sky changed. A huge whirlpool appeared in the sky above the eastern continent, connecting the two worlds and opening the passage between the two realms. In the heavenly demon ancestral land, Ningchen looked at the changes in the eastern sky and sighed. What was to come had come. With the mission over, Ningchen did not stay any longer. His figure rose into the sky, and his aura returned to normal. His fluttering white hair was unusually dazzling. Ningchen turned around and walked toward the eastern sky. Everyone, I will wait for you in the heavens beyond heaven. See you again. The parting declaration of war was calm and cold. After tens of thousands of years, the fated war between the human race and the demon realm began again. Chapter 12:12. In the primordial demon realm, the 13th prince of the heavenly demon realm left and disappeared into the eastern sky. The passage between the two worlds opened, and knowing destiny returned to the realm beyond heaven. In the sky above the three emperors' palace, the faces of the emperors froze when they saw this scene. The 13th prince of the heavenly demon realm was from the realm beyond heaven. Retreat! Tion Xian said sternly. With that order, the sorcerer tribe army immediately beat the gong and retreated quickly. Not far away, the lord of the sacred region and the holy master of the holy capital also stopped fighting and left the battlefield. Above the three emperors' palace, a shocking demonic aura surged. Demon Emperor Kuan descended from the sky and looked at the retreating sovereigns with murderous intent in his eyes. Kuan, you're too late. Not far away, the scaled emperor said in a deep voice. Demon Emperor Kuan turned around and looked at the seven brilliance demon emperor who was on the verge of death. He took a step forward and appeared in front of the ladder. With a shout, the chaotic demonic aura around Demon Emperor Kuan surged out and entered the seven brilliance demon emperor's body, protecting the last trace of his life. Xian Qi and Azura descended from the sky. Their faces darkened when they saw the tragic scene in front of them. Xian Qi, Azura, gather all the 8 tribes and end this war, Demon Emperor Kuan said calmly. Yes. The two accepted the order and left the 3 emperors' palace. In the 9 underworlds' palace, the demonic flames gradually subsided. Shen Juyo looked at the eastern sky and sighed softly. Master, I'm sorry. An illusory figure in plain clothes appeared in the palace and bowed respectfully. Is this all part of your plan? Shen Juyo said with a sigh. Yes. In the sky, Ning Chen's clone nodded and answered honestly. The 100 tribes have the ambition to invade the realm beyond heaven. For the safety of the human race, I had to strike first and deal a heavy blow to the 100 tribes led by the Sky Demonic Royal Family. You have made me see you in a new light. Shen Juyo sighed softly. In this battle, not only had the Celestial Demonic Royal Family suffered great losses, but the Sorcerer Tribe, Western Sacred Region, Stone Tribe, Scale Tribe, and some royal tribes had also been implicated in this battle. Almost the entire primordial demon realm had suffered great losses. The human tribe of the outer heavens is weak. If the 100 tribes invade, the human tribe will be defeated. For the safety of the human tribe, I have no choice but to do this. I have disappointed you, Master. In the void, Ning Chen bowed again and apologized. That's your standpoint. You're not wrong. What's wrong is the human heart that doesn't know how to be satisfied. Xian Jiuyo looked at the demonic figures in front of the 3 emperors' palace in the distance and continued. The Queen Mother of the West seal has been broken and the war between the 2 worlds is inevitable. Even though the primordial demon realm has suffered a great calamity, its strength is still above that of the humans of the heavens beyond heaven. Now that the 4 immortal realms no longer exist, no one will help the humans anymore. You have to be mentally prepared. Many thanks for Master's reminder. Disciple understands. Ning Chen said respectfully. From today onwards, I hope that we will never meet again. Xian Jiuyu sighed. Ning Chen fell silent. Since they were on different sides, they would only be enemies if they met again. Perhaps it was better to not meet again. After a long time, Ning Chen bowed respectfully again. Without saying anything else, his figure faded and disappeared. In the heavens beyond heaven, Hong Wan Galaxy. Ning Chen walked out of the fog and saw the dim Western King hairpin from the corner of his eyes. He frowned slightly. Waving his hand, Ning Chen grabbed the Western King hairpin and looked at the passage behind him. A moment later, he turned around and left. The primordial demon realm had suffered great losses in this battle. Even if they wanted to go to war with the human tribe, they would need time to prepare. During this time, he had to make arrangements as soon as possible. 10 days later, at the border between the All-Heaven Galaxy and Luojia Galaxy, a white-clothed figure appeared in the sky above the Reverence Moon ancient ground. With a wave of her hand, She dispersed the grand formation blocking her way and walked into it. At this moment, in the Reverence Moon ancient ground, the Reverence Moon clan's members sensed her presence and looked at the horizon. In front of the altar, a white-haired old woman's body trembled. Her face was filled with excitement. "Greetings, High Priestess." After so many years, the familiar face appeared once again. The Reverence Moon clan's members knelt on the ground to greet the High Priestess. In the void, Ning Chen's figure descended from the sky. Looking at the people in front of him, he smiled and said, "Rise." "Many thanks, High Priestess." Everyone kowtowed and stood up one after another. In the distance, a woman in green stood quietly. She was quiet and elegant as she looked at the young man in front of her. A faint smile flashed across her beautiful face. "Young master." Behind the woman, an excited voice sounded. She couldn't suppress the longing in her voice. In front of the Reverence Moon clan's members, Ning Chen turned around and looked at the two people in the distance. He smiled and said, "Sister Qing Ning Ruoshi, I trust you have been well since we last met." Just as his voice fell, a fragrant wind assaulted his nose. Before he could react, a warm and tender body fell into his arms and sobbed softly. There was no affection, only a simple nod of greeting. Is injured, but it's not a big problem. She'll be fine after some rest." Mu Qingxue walked up and sent the girl in his arms out. Ning Chen took the unconscious and said softly, "Many thanks. You've worked hard these years." "It's my duty," Mu Qingxue said calmly. He looked at the two people beside him and nodded in greeting. Then he walked away. Behind him, Qing Ning looked at Mu Qingxue's back, and a trace of pity flashed through her eyes. Mu Qingxue's personality was similar to Ning Chen's. The strength and pride in their bones were not something ordinary people could compare to. In the past, she had chosen to cultivate the great indifference art for the sake of Desolate City, shouldering the glory of Desolate City alone. Since then her and Ning Chen's path had been bumpy and difficult. Clearly, they had feelings for each other, but it was difficult for them to be together. It was unknown whether fate was playing tricks on them, or they were not fated to be together. "Sister Qing Ning, I'll take in or to treat her injuries first," Ning Chen said with a smile on his face. Qing Ning nodded. "I'll go too." Ruoshi volunteered from the side. Ning Chen chuckled and said, "Come." Ruoshi smiled happily and quickly followed behind Ning Chen. In a quiet room in the Holy Land's East Wing, Ning Chen put down the girl in his arms and said, "Little gourd, do me a small favor." As soon as his voice fell, space runes spread out, and the little gourd flew out. Its big eyes looked at the unconscious girl on the bed with a frown. It turned to look at the man behind it and said in a childish voice, "Senior Immortal, you have to compensate me." Ning Chen smiled and said, "Okay." Hearing the former's promise, the little gourd turned back with satisfaction. Afraid of the pain, it bit its finger and carefully dripped a drop of blood into the girl's mouth. Done. After it was done, the little gourd flew back and asked for credit. "Senior Immortal, don't forget to compensate me." "I won't forget." Ning Chen nodded. Outside the room, in the courtyard of the guest room next door, a beautiful figure in white stood quietly. Her peerless face was like a fairy that no one dared to blaspheme. In the east, the bright moon rose and the night wind blew, slightly cold. In the room next door, Ning Chen stepped out of the room and looked at the bright moon in the sky with a gentle smile on his face. Separated by a wall, the two could feel each other's presence, but neither of them said a word. They just quietly looked at the moon in the sky and cherished this hard-won time. Not far away, Ruoshi looked at the young master in front and curled her lips. "I don't know what young master and Miss Mu are thinking. The other is clearly in front of them, but neither of them is willing to say the words in their hearts. It's not that they don't want to say it, it's that they can't say it." The moon god nodded and said, "The Nether King's power can't be explained with common sense. However, the Nether King is a noble and pure person. He won't easily take action. Since the beginning of time, the number of times the Nether King has descended can be counted on one hand. Other than a few people, not many people know about the existence of the Nether King. According to the moon god, in ancient times, the strength of the primordial demon realm was inferior to that of the human race? Ningchen asked. The moon god shook her head. The overall strength of the primordial demon realm was far stronger than that of the human race. Especially the number of king realm experts, it was even more shocking. The 100 races have long lifespans. As long as they lived long enough, it wasn't too difficult for them to enter the king realm. However, it was different for the human race. Due to the lack of lifespans, the human race had far fewer king realm experts than the 100 races. In addition, during that era, the Sky Devil Imperial clan was at its peak. One clan had 10 demon emperors. Adding the emperors of the other imperial clans of the primordial demon realm, there were almost 30 emperors in total. Even the 4 immortal realms felt great pressure. 30 emperors. Hearing this, Ning Chen's eyes flashed. What a shocking number. Now, there were only 7 emperors of the primordial demon realm in total. This included the 7 luminaries and Kuan Yi, the 2 emperors who had lived since ancient times. 30 emperors. Such a large number of supreme experts had been defeated. It was truly unbelievable. Actually, whether it's the primordial demon realm or the emperors of the human race, there's a huge gap between them and the ancient times. Immortals in the mortal world are ultimately inferior to true immortals, let alone immortals. Without the purification of immortal core power, there's a huge difference in strength. This is also why the primordial demon realm still needs external items to open the seal of the Queen Mother of the West after hundreds of thousands of years, the moon god said calmly. What is immortal core power? Ningchen frowned. Do people of the primordial demon realm also need such things? Immortal core power is a higher level of origin of heaven and earth. The moon god thought for a moment and said, it's like the vital essence of the human race, the demonic essence of the demon race, and the demonic essence of the demon race. After cultivating to a certain level, the speed of accumulation will become extremely slow. If you want to improve, you need external items, such as immortal jade. Hearing this, Ning Chen's eyes flashed. It was indeed so. If one wanted to continue cultivating after reaching the celestial realm, they needed immortal jade. However, immortal jade couldn't be regenerated. The more they used it, the less they had. This was also the main reason why the human race's cultivators were declining day by day. Whether it's vital essence, demonic essence, or demonic essence, they all have their own limits. If they can't transform into a higher level of origin of heaven and earth, cultivators will forever be stuck. Hundreds of thousands of years have proven that the Emperor Plane is the final limit, the moon god continued. How can one break through this limit? Ningchen asked. In the ancient times, the 4 celestial realms had deification pools. Those who ascended would be reborn in the deification pools. Their vital chi would transform into immortal core power. Although their cultivation level wouldn't change, their strength would be worlds apart. Similarly, the primordial demon realm also had its own methods. Unfortunately, all of these things no longer exist today. The 100 races and the human race have all declined, and their strength has greatly decreased. The only difference is that the 100 races can still rely on their long lifespans and strong bodies to retain part of their strength. The human race, on the other hand, has lost the deification pools. I see. Ning Chen's expression turned serious. After thinking for a while, he said, Moon God, in the primordial demon realm, there's a demon Emperor Kuan who has lived since the ancient times. Although his cultivation is the same as the other emperors, the pressure he gives off is completely different. Is he the ascendant that the moon god mentioned? Hearing this, the moon god's expression changed. She said, that's strange. Is there such a strong cultivator in the primordial demon realm? Even in the ancient times, that Emperor Supreme had transformed once. If he wanted to seal himself, he had to destroy his own foundation and return to his original celestial realm. Logically speaking, he shouldn't have retained his original strength. I don't know the exact reason, but I'm very sure that the demon Emperor Kuan's strength is far above the other emperors. It's very likely that he's the ascendant that the moon god mentioned, Ningchen said solemnly. The moon god was silent. After a while, she said, "If that's the case, you have to be careful. A strong cultivator of this level isn't something you can fight against now. Even if there are other emperors in the human race, if they don't have the combat power of the ancient celestial realm, they won't be able to fight against this demon." Ningchen frowned. This was really troublesome. It turned out that the demon Emperor Kun had such a background. He had been careless. "High Priest, I can feel that your cultivation is being suppressed by a strong force. What did you see in front of the celestial mirror of mortal world?" The moon god asked seriously. "There was a figure in the celestial gate." Ningchen said truthfully. In the void, the moon god listened to him quietly. She frowned slightly. "The master of the eastern celestial realm." She turned her wheelchair and walked down the mountain. Not long after Peacock left, a young man in white walked over and said, "Master, you were looking for me?" Chapter 12:14. At the peak of the unknown godly realm, the current master of the godly realm stood quietly. His withered face showed the ruthlessness of time. He had bitterly endured for thousands of years. Even though he was the sovereign of the human clan, he was gradually reaching the end of his life. Behind him, a young man in white walked over. He looked at the elder and bowed respectfully. "Master, how long have you been on the mountain?" the elder asked. 300 years, young Master Xiaobai replied softly. "It's time to go down," the elder said hoarsely. Hearing that, young Master Xiaobai said seriously, "Peacock has left. If I leave too, you will be the only one left in the immortal realm. Can I wait for Peacock to come back before going down?" "No need," the elder said calmly. "I'm not so weak that I need someone to take care of me. You have your own responsibilities. Leave now." Young Master Xiaobai was silent. After a long while, he bowed respectfully and said, "Yes, Master. Please take care of yourself. When the demons are over, I will come back to serve you." After that, young Master Xiaobai didn't say anything else. He turned around and walked down the mountain. After the two left, the immortal realm was silent. Only the elder was left. It was lonely and cold. No one could feel any warmth. On the peak, the elder looked at the world quietly. He didn't look away for even a moment. At the same time, in the primordial demon realm, Demon Emperor Kun returned. The situation changed quickly. Except for the heavenly demons, all the heavenly demons woke up. With Azura the god of war as the leader, the heavenly demons fought in all directions and defeated the four races. The rebellion of the scaled race had greatly damaged the Demon Slayer alliance. Among the four sovereign races, the stone race was removed from the list due to the death of Emperor Stone. The other three sovereign races had to be wary of the scaled race when facing the heavenly demon royal race. For a moment, the situation was very unfavorable. In the sorcerer race in the north, Tian Exen stood on the altar in the center. He looked at the eastern continent and sighed. The 13th prince of the heavenly demons had come silently like a shooting star. When he left a dazzling light in the world. As of now, the three royal families had no chance of winning. The return of the first demon emperor had changed too much. Not only did they have the battle prowess of the imperial plane, but they also had the overall situation. Previously, they had already won the battle against the demons. It was also because of this that many of the sovereign clans of the 100 clans had secretly sent out cultivators to help the sovereign clans deal with the celestial demonic imperial clan together. No one could stop them from killing the demons. In the northern battlefield of the primordial demon realm, in front of the sorcerer race army, the 12 sorcerer queens were shocked when they heard the sorcerer emperor's order. Almost at the same time, the divine capital mountain and the western sacred region gave the order to retreat. The world-slaying demon situation had ended the moment the first demon emperor awakened all his power and recovered his ancient peak combat power. In the sorcerer race's sacred land in the sky beyond heaven, Ning Chen and the moon god talked for a long time in front of the moon god statue, and his understanding of the human race and the primordial demon realm increased. One last question. What's the difference between immortals and gods? Ning Chen asked seriously. Gods are beliefs, the moon god said softly. Like me, I was born from the beliefs of humans. I condensed a physical body and became extraordinary. Immortals are the peak of human cultivation, especially the immortal lords and the masters of the 4 celestial realms. Their strength is even more shocking, and they can be compared to gods and Buddhas. Hearing this, Ning Chen fell silent. So, gods were really created by the beliefs of humans. What about Pluto? Ning Chen asked. He's different. The moon god sighed and said, 7Ju Sky is a true god. He was not created by the beliefs of thousands of races. Since ancient times, no one has been able to get close to his realm. What about the master of the eastern celestial realm? Ning Chen frowned. The moon god was silent. After a while, she shook her head and said, the master of the eastern celestial realm may be the person closest to 7Ju Sky, but he should still be slightly weaker. Of course, this is only my understanding. After all, these two have never officially fought. The master of the eastern celestial realm was the strongest expert in the history of the human race. If there was an enemy, it could only be the Pluto who surpassed everything. I understand. Many thanks for the moon god's explanation. Ning Chen bowed. In the void, the moon god nodded lightly. Her figure gradually turned illusory. After a few breaths, she turned into moonlight and disappeared. Outside the reverence moon holy ground, in the endless starry sky, a young girl in a wheelchair slowly arrived. The current generation's peacock had officially descended to the world. Inside the holy ground, Ning Chen felt something. He looked at the horizon and narrowed his eyes. It's her? When the scaled race invaded the inner world, this woman had appeared. Although he didn't know her origin, he was very sure that he didn't like her. It was an instinctive rejection. Even he couldn't explain why. Inside and outside the holy ground, the two of them looked at each other. Not counting the time when they passed each other in the inner world, this was the first time they officially met. The hostility in their eyes couldn't be concealed. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.